Hey, good morning, everyone. How are you today? You bunch of weirdos. Why do you always show up in the morning? Can't you see I'm trying to drink coffee here? Oh, that's good stuff. Oh, yeah. Oh, baby. Well, here we are again. It is Wednesday. It is May 8th. We are already a week into May. May. I don't go in for that Star Wars crap. I love the movie. I hate the rhetoric. So I don't even use that term. But over the weekend, I did absolutely nothing. And then Monday, I did the open mic night show. I actually did a couple of songs while trying to discover what the problem is with the whole sound situation. I'm going to have to go back to basics here and retool everything. And yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be going to open mic Monday. It all hinges on whether or not I get the sound figured out and how many more bookings we get. So far, we're pretty booked up, which means that I have to clean house. I have to go clean several houses over the weekend, including Sunday, including Monday. So doing this and the cleaning and the Monday night thing, it's logistically not really, it ain't good. So, yeah, I'll be doing something about that. I'm not sure what. My first fix-all for Monday Night Live would be to take the iPhone that my daughter gave me, put a microphone on it, stick it on a tripod, and record open mic. No fuss, no muss, no worries. No big deal. So I'm looking into that. All right. Let's see. Oh, I watched The Three Musketeers yesterday while I was sitting here futzing around trying to figure out what to do. The Three Musketeers, the original one with Michael York and Faye Dunaway and Jasmine Fracashausem. And yeah, that was a great fucking movie. Really, I saw it in the theater. I believe it was the drive-in theater when I was a kid when it came out in the movies. Was fun, but it was also really weird. I saw it when I was a kid. I saw it as a drama. Now I watch it and I see it as an action adventure comedy. So there's perspective for you. Yeah, it is a really funny movie. Raquel Welch is in it, and she's really funny in it. She's really fun, really beautiful, but really, really funny. I dig me some Raquel Welch. What was that movie? Caveman movie, 10,000 Years BC. I believe she's in that. Plays a cave woman. Does a lot of grunting and going, right? So let's see. Today is, if you recall, it's Old Time Radio Wednesday. Isn't that fun? So we have some, I've picked out some great shows for today. Stuff that we haven't heard before and stuff that we have heard before. So I just let's see, we've got the Lone Ranger, We've got The New Adventures of Nero Wolfe. And let's see what's going on here. I seem to have forgotten to turn one on, yes. Let's see if I can get it here. Maybe I turned it on, it's just not popping up on my live feed here. The Lone Ranger, The Adventures of Nero Wolfe, X-1. Yeah, I did make it public. Night Beat. That's it. Night Beat. And let's see here. We'll go to the playlist. And Old Time Radio Wednesdays is the playlist in case y'all want to check it out in the playlist. Nightmare, X-1, The New Adventures of Nero Wolfe, and Night Beat. So we'll go to Night Beat. And no. I don't want to do Yours Truly, Johnny Dollar. I want to do that one. There we go. There it is. Okay. So as promised, we are going to do another radio show this morning. And here we are. Come on now, let's. Okay. Yeah, let's get started. I'm going to drop me into a picture-in-picture and watch and listen to this right along with you people. So here we go. Let's see if we can do this right here. We'll hit play and
Night Beat.
It's the first episode.
Hi, this is Randy Stone. I cover the Night Beat for the Chicago Star. You know, stories start many different ways, but this one began modestly enough with a 0 on a typewriter. That's right, cipher, naught, nothing. But to one man of Chicago's 4 million, that 0 meant death.
At this point, may I take just a moment, which might normally be utilized for an opening sales message, to say a word concerning the show you're about to hear.
Go right ahead.
This year, more than ever before, the mystery program is a good radio buy. Low in cost, high in appeal, mysteries are doing standout jobs for a growing list of enthusiastic advertisers. As variety
Okay,
sums
so
it
this
up,
is the ad
the
man
crime
trying to
sagas
sell
enjoy a
commercial
per-point
time
rating payoff
to
calculated to
people
make the
who are using
sponsors
this
do
in
hands-free.
syndication, right?
And that goes double for Night Beat.
Yeah, Night Beat. It's
Even
a good
if you're
show.
not the type
I'd
for
buy time on
hamstrings,
Night Beat.
you will be interested in what this new mystery can do for you. Spearheaded by the hard-hitting dialogue of its star, Frank Lovejoy, Night Beat provides rugged realism tailored to today's radio tastes. It has all the spine-tingling qualities which attract large audiences. Contact your NBC sales representative for complete information on this fast-moving program designed to make yours a fast-moving product.
Y'all can hear this, right?
Mine is a funny kind of a job. When that evening sun goes down, I start walking through the dark city, peering into bleak alleys, wandering through the bright neon, listening to the sounds of the city at night,
Peeking
the
at the
whisper of
windows.
footsteps, the shattering roar of an L train, the sob of an ambulance siren. I wander up the
humping in a Buick.
boulevards, down the back streets, searching for something in the dark city. And what exactly is it that I seek? Brother, it's something more elusive than the farthest star. I seek the city's heart. Tonight I must have walked for miles. The cold wind off Lake Michigan ad-libbing with my ribs and the hot breath of my deadline biting into my neck. Then ahead of me, I saw that friendly oasis in the darkness. Benny's all-night beanery, otherwise known as Tomaine Junction. Throwing caution to the winds, I started through the door for a cup of coffee.
Operator Anthony.
Nobody around but Benny polishing the counter,
Operator,
and this little blonde yapping excitedly into the wall phone near the door.
Please hurry.
Such devotion, somebody should get that excited over me.
Hello, Mrs. Warren. Yes, we were disconnected. Has he come home yet, Mrs. Warren?
How are you, Benny? How's the bicarbonate king?
Oh, hiya, Randy. You always say that, but you keep coming back.
Glutton for punishment.
Well, you've got to find him. You've just got to.
Get her.
What's with her, Benny?
No, 25 calls she makes like that. 25 times she gets the same answer. 25 times she comes over to get more nickels.
Business is good, huh?
A hole in the head. What's in it for me making change all night?
Give me some change. Please, Nichols.
Lady, sooner or later, I gotta run out. This is it.
I gotta have some.
I don't make 'em here, lady. Now, will
Well,
you
then
please...
any change. Quarters, dimes.
Let me take a look, see if I have any.
Oh, yes, please do. But hurry. Please hurry. I gotta reach him.
Randy, make with the catch. She's passing out.
Oh, easy, lady, easy.
Out cold.
Make with
Coffee,
the
Benny,
catch.
quick. It's one thing I'll say. If Gabriel's trumpet doesn't succeed in waking the dead, all they've got to do is send for some of Benny's coffee. After I got a couple of sips down the girl's throat, she started coming out of it. Tears rolling down her face, her whole body trembling with sobs. Oh, come on now. Now stop it, honey. Stop it.
What happened to me?
You passed out, but good.
What time is it?
Oh, it's 9:45.
I've got to find him. I've just got to.
Oh, now take it easy. You're still shaking. Now, come on. Have a few more sips of this
Come on, lady.
so-called coffee.
Oh, no,
Coffee.
no.
Well, if you think Benny's coffee is bad, you ought to try his hamburgers.
I've just got to
I
find him.
roofied it.
Who have you got to find?
The man.
What man?
The man I killed.
I don't get it. What do you mean?
Ask a foolish question, you get a foolish answer. Only before I could ask any more questions, a little lady was on her way out of the place. I looked at Benny just to make sure he'd heard the same thing I had. He'd heard. His mouth was hanging open like somebody had taken out the hinges. I left the beanery and started after the girl. At first, I thought I'd lost her. Then I saw her sagging against the side of a building under the elevator tracks on Dearborn Street. She saw me coming.
What do you want?
Oh, I'm just an old busybody.
I don't know what to do. I'm going crazy. I should call Mrs. Warren again. Maybe he came home.
Who?
That man.
Oh, the man you killed, huh? Well, that makes sense. Now listen.
Oh, you
lady.
don't understand. You just don't understand.
This you can be sure of.
I've got to find him. I've just got to.
You've killed him, but you've got to find him. Yeah.
I must go. Please. Please let me go.
I'm not
Must
holding
go.
you, kid.
I must.
I don't know where to turn.
You don't want to go anyplace, do you? You want help? All right, here it is.
I don't know you.
My name is Stone. Now that
Randy
we're
Stone.
formally introduced.
The newspaper columnist?
Well, man's got to leave.
Maybe you can help. Maybe you can, Mr. Stone.
Yeah, but first I've got to know why you keep calling the home of the man you killed to see if he's gotten in yet. This is slightly confusing.
All right. I'll tell you. My name is Ruth Baker. I'm receptionist and secretary for Dr. Stanley Loring.
The specialist?
Yes.
Go ahead.
There was a man, Philip Warren. A week ago, he saw Dr. Loring for an examination. Today, this afternoon, he came back for the report. I was in the outer office when Mr. Warren left the consultation room. He looked strange. Strange and funny.
Well, flashback.
Will you give me a cigarette, Miss Baker?
Oh, certainly, Mr. Warren.
Sure.
Here, there's a lighter on the table.
Never mind. I don't want a cigarette.
Is there anything wrong?
Hey, what time have you got?
3:15.
You're a minute slow,
All that?
but a minute is important. Very important.
If you're going to catch a train.
No, it's always important.
Yes, I suppose it is.
Oh, yes. You know, I've lived all my life that way, paying attention to time, being punctual. My wife considers it a nuisance. Do you?
Oh, I'm afraid I hadn't thought
You
of
should. Everyone should. Time. Have you thought how many different ways one tells time? It can whisper in an hourglass, or tinkle in the tiny little clock, or it can roar, or
Yes?
All my life it's been important to me. Now he won't tell me when. All he says is sometime. That's not fair, Miss Baker. It's not right.
Look, Mr. Warren, perhaps you'd better lie down.
Oh, no. I've got several things to do. Many things, in fact.
I see.
You don't. But that doesn't matter at all. You know, in my office, I can hear the chimes of the clock in the tower above me. I've always listened to them. I like them because time is important. But I never heard them chime midnight.
Midnight?
I guess midnight is a special time. It's either tomorrow or today. It's in between. Tells a man that the day is over. Another one's going to begin. It's like standing on the edge.
The edge of what?
Goodbye, Miss Baker. Goodbye, Miss Baker.
Yes, Doctor.
Miss Baker, will you come in, please?
Right away.
Warren gone, Miss Baker?
Yes, he just left, Dr. Loring.
Yeah, that was certainly unexpected. I was almost certain it wasn't that serious. Well, put his examination report back, will you?
Yes, sir.
The closed file, Miss Baker.
The closed?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was it?
An inoperable condition?
Oh, now I see.
Inoperable condition.
See what, Miss Baker?
Why he acted so strangely.
Don't worry. You'll go home, think about it. When the first shock wears off, you'll accept it. What else can he do? What else can anyone?
Oh, yeah. I tell you.
After that, I went back to my desk, Mr. Stone. I was checking my files and
Come on, Ruth, what?
I made a mistake. A horrible mistake.
What was it?
Well, when a patient comes in for examination, only Dr. Loring knows his name. The technical laboratory has only a number on a card. Mr. Warren's was 5129. I typed it wrong. I typed 5120.
The card number of another patient.
It was a mistake. I put Mr. Warren's name under the wrong laboratory number. The number of a man who is going to die.
Certainly Dr. Loring will be able to tell if Warren...
Well, just a routine checkup would indicate symptoms. It took actual laboratory work to make certain.
Oh, I see.
He'll kill himself. He's that kind of a man. And if he does, I've killed him, murdered him. And if... I don't want to live. I'll kill myself, too.
Oh, now, come on. Now, there's no time for that. Does Dr. Loring know?
I told him right away.
And he tried to reach Warren?
Oh, I've been trying since this afternoon.
At his home?
Everywhere. He must have gone home first because he left his wife a note.
Suicide note?
Yes.
Ruthie, come on, let's go.
Well, where?
Warren's home. And if he's not there, well, Chicago's a big city. It'll be tough finding one man among 4 million people. But we can try.
I found the note when I got home, Mr. Stone. I knew Philip went to see Dr. Loring, but I didn't know...
Just the note and nothing else, Mrs.
No,
Warren?
nothing.
You called the police right away?
Well, of course I did.
And you haven't left this apartment?
Not for a second.
Well, didn't he phone, try to get in touch with you at all?
No, Miss Baker, he did not. And if my husband isn't found before he kills himself, I'll see to it that
I've been telling you it was a mistake. Anyone could make a mistake like that.
Mistake? To make a man believe he's going to die in horrible pain? No, that's no mistake. That's murder. The cruelest kind of murder.
Don't,
Please. Get out of here and leave me alone.
Wait
Get
a minute,
out.
wait a minute, Mrs. Warren. Why crucify this kid because she made a mistake that could happen only once in a million years?
To my husband.
To anyone.
Oh, leave me alone.
You want to find him, don't you?
Now, what kind of a question is that?
A nice, reasonable question. You want to find him. All right, help us.
But what can we do? By midnight, he'll be dead. The note he left said so.
Someone's at the door.
it might be him.
I'll get it. Mr. Warren?
Warren? Why, no.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, what did you find out?
Oh, nothing. I checked every precinct station between here and the Oak Street Beach.
Paul, this is Mr. Stone. And the girl who... Paul is a friend of Philip's.
Yeah, there's nothing you said.
No one's seen him.
And no suicide report?
Not his.
It's 10 now. We've got 2 hours to find him.
You know, that bothers me. Why should he choose exactly 12 o'clock to die?
If you knew my husband, you'd understand why. The ticking of the clock was the most important thing in his life. You could set your watch by his schedule. Up at 7:30 in the morning. Never 7:28. Never 7:31, 7:30. Breakfast at 10 minutes to 8.
Irma, we haven't time to
not
worry
like
about
him.
Philip's idiosyncrasies right now. We've got to find him. The young lady said we've only got 2 hours.
I'm sorry.
Try to think the way he would. What does he do for those 2 hours? Where does he go? What does he want to see?
Beats
He's
off
lived
in a
all his
bedroom.
life doing things exactly the same way. That's all.
Well, that's something.
What are you getting at, Stone?
Well, I was just thinking. Nobody ever lets go of life without holding on to something else. Nobody knows whether you can take a memory with you or not. Maybe it's just a face, a melody, a favorite place. Nobody knows, but we like to think so.
Favorite place.
Go ahead, what were you going to say?
Well, that Philip would want to die exactly as he'd lived, knowing exactly when and where.
That's what I mean, Mrs. Warren.
What?
I want a list of every place your husband might go.
But
Tell him, Irma.
there are so many places.
100, 1,000, what's the difference? Write them down.
I'll go with you, Stone.
No, you stay here with Mrs. Warren. Somebody's got to be here if he shows up. And step on it with that list, Mrs. Warren. Got a lot of places to cover by midnight.
Yeah,
If we haven't found him, then we can cut our list down to one place. The county morgue.
the morgue. It's a great looking shot of the Chicago skyline back there in the
Night
late 30s.
Beat stars Frank Lovejoy as Randy Stone.
I've actually heard this episode before. I didn't realize I've heard this one once before.
Find one man out of 4 million people. Find one place out of 1,000 square miles of city and do it in 2 hours, 120 minutes. A long chance? Compared to our job, a buck on the Irish sweepstakes was money in the bank.
Pardon me.
We had 2 things in our favor. One, Mrs. Warren had called the police. 1,000 cops had Warren's description. 2, Warren himself. The way he lived was a clue to the way he might die. On time, punctual. But where? The first place on this list was a little restaurant where he sometimes ate. They knew him there, all right.
Mr.
Love those
Warren?
lines.
Yes, I know you.
Has he been in here tonight?
Tonight?
Yes, tonight.
I see you don't know Mr. Warren very well. Mr. Warren comes here on Tuesday evenings only. This is Monday.
Where the hell does he go on Mondays?
Cross off one place. Go to the next. Yes, they knew Mr. Warren. No, he hasn't been in tonight. This is Monday. He comes here only on Fridays. Grab a cab and hurry on. Watching the minutes go by. Watching Ruthie die a minute at a time. Telling her no matter how bad we were doing, the cops would find him for sure.
For sure.
The cigar store, where he stopped for cigarettes, missed him by an hour. The newsreel theater. Sure, an old customer, but he comes on Wednesday for the new weekly show. Ruthie wanting to call Mrs. Warren again to see if the police had found him yet, but no time. 40 minutes gone, an hour lost, going down the list.
Hey, Ben, late edition, get your paper.
Hey, kid.
Oh, paper, mister?
No, not right now. Listen to me. Every night a man stops by here. His name is Warren.
Oh, I know him. What about him?
Well, has he been here tonight?
Sure. Hey, what gives with that guy?
What do you mean?
Well, any other night he's by here 6 o'clock sharp. Tonight he comes past after 10. Buys a paper, a late edition. Never done that before. In fact, I never seen him after 6.
Which way did he go? Did he say anything to you?
Nothing. All he does is buy the paper, walk away, and then he throws the paper away like he don't want it in the first place.
Which way did he go?
Straight up Michigan, that way. You got to admit it's unusual.
Yes, I
for-
admit it. I admit it. Thank you. Come on, cabby, move.
Frank Lovejoy, he's got a great voice.
So we went straight up Michigan Avenue that way. All we accomplished was to lose another 5 minutes of our time. And, brother, when it came to time, we were really scraping bottom. Those ever-loving cops were becoming more important by the second. One by one, we kept scratching names off the list. The cafeteria, where he sometimes stopped for coffee, but not tonight. The drugstore, where he stopped for stamps, but not tonight. Then the last place on the list, the very last. A little cocktail lounge on Michigan Avenue. One of those shishi joints where the lights are so soft and low you can't watch the bartender watering the booze. Our 2 hours were just about all used up.
Can I help you, sir?
Oh, pal, if you can. Nobody else can.
Beg your pardon?
I'm looking for a man named Philip Warren. Do you know him?
Oh, yeah, quite well. I consider Mr. Warren one of my special customers.
Was he here tonight?
For
Why do you ask?
We don't have time for anything but yes or no answers. Please, yes or no.
I really don't feel I'm at liberty to discuss with complete
Oh,
strangers.
Randy, it's not going to work. We're not going to find him.
Something wrong with Mr. Warren?
Well, to put it mildly, yes. Now, come on.
Well, if you'll tell me why you
Now,
want
listen,
you see,
please.
it's not really proper to tell just anyone who happens to inquire.
Pal,
man.
unless we find him in the next 15 minutes, Warren is going to die.
You're joking.
Look at this girl here. If Warren dies, she'll... Never mind. Look at her face and tell me I'm joking.
Oh. All right. I didn't know. Mr. Warren's a good customer. You know, two strangers asking.
Was he in here and how long ago?
Well, he came in a little while ago. I thought it was strange, you know, because he's late. It always comes in promptly at 5:35.
Never mind the details. How long ago?
About 10 minutes ago. He went to the usual place, but then he didn't drink his sherry.
Do you know where he went?
No, I don't.
Did you see him go?
Oh, yeah, I saw him leave.
All right, now think. Has he ever said anything about going anywhere from here?
No. He was always very quiet. Oh, but I think his office is near here.
What makes you think that?
Well, he mentioned once he always leaves it at 5:30.
I
And he
see,
always...
thank you. Where's the phone?
Near the entrance.
Come on, Ruth. Thank you.
What is it, Mr. Stone? What did you think of?
You got his home phone number?
Oh, yeah. Written down
Good.
here.
Thank you.
I love sound effects on old radio.
Why are you calling there?
I want to know where his office is.
But why?
All his life, punctual, methodical. Everything to him was a habit. Maybe it's a crazy hunch, but I could be right. He could have gone to his office.
Yes, you could be right.
Come on. Answer.
They gotta be there. They said they'd stay.
They don't answer. Ruth, do you remember where his office is? Must be on your records.
Oh, I don't remember it. Oh, but we can go and get it.
There's no time.
Try it again.
They're not there. I told them to stay there, the fools.
What?
The phone
They're
director.
there.
Might have a business listing for him.
Open in the back of the
Warren. Philip Warren.
Is it?
No, only his home phone, the number I just called.
Mr. Stone.
What?
If Mrs. Warren isn't home, she might have gone to the police. Maybe they found him.
That could be it. Keep your fingers crossed that they found him alive.
Well, Randy Stone, snooping around this precinct for stories?
I've got one, Mac.
So?
Listen, I'm in a hurry. You've got to tell me something.
Why, sure, Randy. What?
There's a general call-out for a man named Philip Warren. Have you got anything on it?
I'll take a look. Warren? Philip Warren?
That's right. Oh, Mac, come on.
Oh, nothing here on that name, Randy.
Nothing. Mac, you're crazy. The call went out this afternoon. Every precinct has got it.
Well, this is one of them, but there ain't a thing here. Take a look for yourself. Here's the sheet.
No, I'll take your word for it, Mac. Listen, put out a call right away. He's got to be picked up.
He killed somebody?
He'll kill himself. You hear that, Mac? He'll kill himself if he's not found before midnight.
Before midnight? But that's just 15 minutes.
Yes, I know.
What did they say?
They didn't have a call for him.
That's crazy. They must have. Mrs. Warren, call the police.
Yeah. Just a minute, Cabby. Look, Ruth. Let's figure it. That last cocktail lounge, the bartender said Warren came in every evening at 5:35, that he left his office at 5:30.
Hmm?
That makes his office a 5-minute walk from the cocktail lounge.
And what he said to me, remember?
What?
He said he liked to sit in his office and listen to the chimes from the tower above his office.
Tower. 5 minutes from that cocktail lounge on Michigan Avenue.
Look up the avenue.
The Wrigley building. They're blocking the Campanile Tower. Ruth, that's got to be it. We've got 10 minutes to get there and find the office. Cabby, Wrigley building, fast.
It's got to be it.
The red on the traffic lights didn't mean a thing, but it still took us 3 minutes to get to the Wrigley building. When we got there, the hands of the clock in the Campanile Tower pointed to 7 of 12. And as we looked up, the larger hand crossed out another minute of Warren's life. One more went by before the night watchman heard me pounding at the doors. And then he opened them.
Hey, what's all the fuss?
Look, my name is Stone. Chicago Star.
Yeah, will that give me the right to pound on doors?
No, please, just listen.
Huh?
Does a man named Philip Warren have an office in this building?
No, he ain't got no office.
Are you sure?
Sure, of course I'm sure. Man named Warren works here.
Philip Warren?
Sure, works for Western Research.
Did he come in tonight?
Why?
Stop asking questions, please. We've got to find him or he'll be dead.
He was all right when he walked in.
All right, take us up to him.
Hey, you got to sign the in and out sheet just like everybody else.
All right. We'll sign it. Just take us up.
Yeah, okay. Got to use the freight elevator, though. Regular ones don't run at night, not this hour.
I don't care which one we use. Just get us up to Warren.
Warren.
I stopped looking at my watch while that freight elevator droned its deadly way up to the floor where Warren had his office. And then at last, we were there.
Western Research Office is right down that way. I'll just...
You'll call the police.
Huh?
Call the police. Tell them you're calling for me to get here as soon as they can.
Oh, sure, okay.
Thank you. Come on, Ruth.
All right. Sure.
There it is.
There's no light inside. It's open.
There's no one here.
Find the light switch.
I can't.
All right, never mind. I'll light a match. What's the matter?
I thought I saw someone at the desk when you lighted that match.
All right. Follow me.
Look.
Mrs. Warren.
What are you doing here?
Well, I thought of the same thing you did, and I...
Herman, you still here?
Yes, Paul. Mr. Stone is here, too.
Stone?
Yes. Turn on the light, Paul.
Why wasn't the light on in the first place?
Well, we thought if Philip came here and saw a light, he wouldn't come in.
That's right, Stone. We called the police. They had nothing yet, so we came here. We thought that if
You
he
called the police?
We just couldn't stay home and do nothing.
The police didn't tell you anything, huh?
No, everyone's looking for Philip.
I'll ask you nice, Paul. Where is he?
I don't understand.
Let's stop playing patty cake. Where is he?
I tell you, we don't know.
Sure you do. Well, you're one of his best friends. Where is he? Come on, give.
Well, we don't know where he is. We came here for the same reason
You
you
never
did.
called the police about your husband like you said. You didn't want them to find him.
You're insane, both of you.
Come on, Paul boy. Tell me where he is.
I tell you, I don't know.
Now, let's try it again. Come on.
Stone, you're...
Never mind me. Let's stick to the subject of the moment. Where is he?
I told you.
Where is he? All very neat and clean, wasn't it? Let the old boy kill himself. Just don't do a thing about it.
Stop it, Stone, stop
You
it.
tell me when, Paul. How much insurance was he going to leave to your lady friend? You sure it isn't one of those non-cancelable policies, Paul? You know, some of them don't pay off on suicide. Tell me where he is. Tell me.
Stop it. Stop it, stop it, stop it. He's on the tower.
Top of the building. I saw him. He's going to jump.
Here's your boyfriend, Mrs. Warren. Catch!
That's
The tower, Ruth. Come on.
The elevator.
No time. Tower's only 2 flights up. Come on, I'll need you.
It's all right. He's insured. Don't worry about
It was 1 minute of 12 when we took the first step of the 2 flights. The run-up was like one of those dreams in which you stand aside and watch yourself. There was a queer, impersonal detachment about it that made the horror even more real.
Horror.
And then we were out on the roof.
Did you see him?
No, not yet.
What the?
Where?
Look. On the tower.
Warren! Warren, wait! Warren!
Yes, I'll wait. Because it's not quite time. I've got to finish off today.
You've got to listen to me. You're not going to die. Do you hear me?
He said I was, but he wouldn't say when. He wouldn't tell me when. But I know, I can tell you. It's not quite 12, but what it is.
Warren, look here! Ruth, make him listen to you.
Mr. Warren! Look at me! You know who I am?
Yes, I know. I know everybody in the world. And I can see everybody from here.
Please! The report was a mistake. You're not going to die, do you hear? It was a mistake. Please, listen to me.
You're lying. You're all lying. Everybody lied to me all my life. You want me to suffer. I can't. I tell you I can't. And I know when I'm going to die.
But you're not. It was a mistake. My mistake, not the doctor's. I swear. We're not lying to you. I swear it.
Randy, why?
Oh, mother in heaven.
Get your boys ready, Mac.
They're all set. But him? What about him?
Keep talking, Ruth. He's watching you. Keep talking.
Mr. Warren, you're all right. Do you hear? You're not going to die.
He said I was. He told me.
It was a mistake.
Please don't lie to me, please.
It's the truth, Mr. Warren. You're not going to die. Do you believe it?
Not yet. You mean I'm invincible?
Thank heaven.
You can get him now, Mac. He'll hold on until your boys reach him.
Mac. Night.
So here I sit, trying to write my story for tonight. I keep hitting that one key, 0. Zero, cipher, naught, nothing. Ah. Oh, dear. Someday, a nice, peaceful story is going to be written about a flock of happy little birds leisurely circling a burned-out world, wondering whatever happened to all those crazy two-legged characters who spent their lives knocking each other's brains out.
There you go.
What a nice thing to read that'd be. Yeah, but wait a second. Who'd write it? All right, you broken down two-bit philosopher. The makeup editor's got to go home, too. Hello? Give me a rewrite.
Copy, boy.
Night Beat, a new dramatic series, stars Frank Lovejoy as Randy Stone. Tonight's story was written by Russell Hughes. Night Beat is edited by Larry Marcus and directed by Warren Lewis. Music by Frank Worth. Others in tonight's cast were Peter Leeds, Gene Bates, Larry Dobkin, Joan Banks, Stacey Harris, Wilms Herbert, and Junius Matthews. Frank Lovejoy will next be seen in Milton Sperling's production Rock Bottom, released by Warner Brothers. Listen next week at this same time and every week as Randy Stone searches through the city for the strange stories waiting for him in the darkness. The stories that come out of the shadows to find their way into night.
Well, there we go. Well, not too shabby of a show. I really dig Frank Lovejoy's voice. He just got a great voice, you know. Come on, you guys. Well, I've had some new viewers recently, and I'd like to say, well, thank you to some people who have decided to join the fun here. Let's see. I will go to my YouTube channel here and go to my mensajes. Hello, my little friend. Hello, I wanted to meet my little friend. Ron Ostick appreciates my Wednesday old-time radio shows here. Brian Willis commented X minus 3 days ago. So, of course, I replied, one, thanks for stopping by Cybertron Studios, which I believe Cybertron Studios is the Thieves Like Us 1980s retro vintage, what do you call it, tribute group. Fantastic guys and gal. Chris Williams from Open Mic has subscribed, so thank you, Chris. I may not see you with the full studio Monday night, but if I show up, I'll probably have my phone. We'll do some more recording, and then you're more than welcome to come by the studio here and hang out and do some recording. Yeah. So thanks, guys. That's pretty cool. I appreciate all your help and input and subscribing and liking and sharing. It makes all of this that much more fun when I know that there's a few people out there who can appreciate this kind of stuff like me. So let's see. I've got some Lone Ranger set up next. So we're going to listen to some Lone Ranger. I believe this is a pilot episode as well. But we don't get to the point yet in the series where we hear the backstory behind how the Lone Ranger became the Lone Ranger. That's later they get into that. Right now he's just the Lone Ranger. So yeah, let's do that. And I'm gonna switch on over here, and we're gonna fade into this and play this. And here we go.
fiery horse with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty hi-yo silver, the Lone Ranger.
Another one of my favorite shows. If I am not mistaken, this is the William Tell overture in this song. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong.
The hearty cry of hi-yo silver has echoed through the years from the wild and untamed west of yesterday. It has acted as a symbol of courage to the oppressed, a challenge to the lawless. Let us return to the west of old and thrill to another of the Lone Ranger stories, featuring the most picturesque and colorful character ever to ride the plains and prairies. As our drama begins, we see the masked rider of justice urging his great horse Silver down the trail leading to the town of Osage. Listen to those flying silver-shod hoofs. The Lone Ranger rides again.
Come on, Silver, old boy. Only a short distance left to cover. Don was waiting for us at the end of the trail. Hurry, old Silver!
That's some great shit. That's awesome.
Many stories had reached the people of Osage about the Bruggen brothers, two of the worst outlaws in the West. But little did they suspect that the notorious killers were seated in one corner of the room in the cafe, where a number of men lined the long bar talking about them. Let us move to that corner table and meet Dan and Paul Bruggen as they discuss their plans for the evening.
It'll be a cinch to get away with the cash in the Osage Bank, Paul. There ain't but one man there, and he's too slow to beat anyone at the drawer. I'm with you, Dan. Only I still say there ain't no use taking chances. He'll hanker to shoot the banker, eh? Why not? Well, he ain't never hurt us none. He ain't never had the chance to hurt us. Let him get a look at our faces and we're done for. Maybe. The reason we're still free is because we never let ourselves be seen. You're the boss, Paul, and what you say goes. I say we're fools to take chances on being recognized.
It's just one guy acting out
Shoot
both
the
sides
banker
of his mouth.
If ever we do get caught, we'll swing anyhow. What's one more murder added to all we got behind us? What about this hiding place you mentioned? How far? 2 hours, right? Good. How's the ground between here and there? No grass or nothing to show a trail. Then we can get to the hiding place without being followed. Easy. How long can we stay there? As long as we want. Stay there when we feel it's safe to move on somewhere else. Good. Now toss off that drink and let's get started. We've got some banking business it needs tending to.
Quick jerk.
Missouri, it rankles me to be so flat broke. Don't rankle you no more than it does me, Sleepy. Here's the two of us stove in old critters that ain't worth a dime to no man.
No, when I think of all the cash we had a while back, and now...
Hey there, you two old mavericks.
Meaning us, bartender?
Hey, you, Missouri. You and Sleepy step up here and let me have your order. What'll it be, Sleepy?
Oh, I reckon I ain't drinking no more.
Come on.
We both ain't drinking, bartender.
Oh, I savvy. Busted, eh?
Flat broke.
Well, you were warned when you had that silver mine that your luck mightn't hold out forever.
I ain't complaining. We had plenty of fun while our claim was good. Now it's petered out and we're broke.
You ain't complaining, but you ain't drinking either. Come on, James. It's on the house. Well, maybe you'd sooner have some chug.
Doggone, some grub would taste right good.
Then step right back into the kitchen and tell the chink to fix you up.
Now, look here. We ain't accepting no charity.
Who says it's charity, Missouri? Why, you blamed old fool, you could be giving the whole town of Osage. And it wouldn't be charity. Not after all you two of you done for folks around here.
Oh, we ain't done so much.
Not unless you call giving away every dime you got from your silver mine something. Well, Dad rather the two of you made things easier for every poor family in the county. Now get yourself back to the kitchen and fill up.
After the sourdough we've been living on, some real food might spoil us.
Go on, eat. Now, wait a minute, Barkeep.
Does that invite include a friend of ours?
Eh?
This Injun looks hard up and down on his luck.
Come on, Injun. You look like you could pack away some hot grub.
Me not hungry.
Oh, he ain't.
Me got plenty food.
Reckon he means it, Missouri. Come on, let's put on the feed bag. I'm gosh awful hungry.
Yeah, darned old fools. That's what they are.
Who, them?
Missouri and Sleepy. That's what they're called. They just can't bear to see anyone in hard luck.
Oh.
They thought you was up again it and was willing to share a meal with you. They've been the same with every pilgrim and stray hound dog they ever seen.
Them good feller.
It's a darn shame the silver mine run out. They deserve to have things easy, more than any men I ever knowed about.
Where? They're mine.
Off north at somewheres. By thunder, them two will eat free of charge as long as I got grub and a place to cook it. It's their pride that makes it so hard to do things for them.
Come on, boys, it's the bank. It's being robbed.
Hey, who robbed it? When did it happen? What was the shooting? Anybody hurt? Let's go. I bet it's the Brugans. How many of them was there? 2 men done it. They shot the banker.
Where'd they go? Anybody see him?
Anybody else hurt besides the banker?
Wait there, boys. Let me prove.
Sheriff, old man Lifner's been shot down. Anybody see it? Who done it? Did they get away with money? They cleaned out the bank. I seen the 2 of them riding away like all kid out. Which way'd they head? Over yonder, that way.
Missouri, the bank's been robbed. Our old pal's been shot down. Doggone it. Why in blazes has there got to be outlaws like them Brugans?
What was that you said, Missouri?
I said it's the Brugans, Sheriff.
How'd you know?
It's their style of job. Missouri's right. The Brugans done it. Nobody else be honor enough to drill a man just out of pure cussedness.
There wasn't no reason to shoot the banker. He couldn't have hurt him. To get men and horses. Call in the deputies. We got to start a posse. We're going to run them Brugans down if it's the last thing we ever do. You're sure it's the Brugan, Sheriff? I'm willing to bet on it. If it ain't, we'll find out who it is.
I've been expecting them Brugans to show up here most any time now.
Remember, boys, there's plenty of reward money for those who get them. Come on now, get going.
Sheriff, we aimed right along with you.
Not you, Sleepy.
Who says we can't?
Missouri, you and Sleepy are old men.
Oh, Dad, Ratty, that ain't no way to talk to able-bodied men like us.
Men that go out after the Brugans got to be hard-riding, fast-shooting mavericks.
And you mean to say we can't ride after them ornery coyotes? The banker's a friend of ours. We want to help in running these killers down.
I'm picking the men I feel are best suited for the job. You two have done enough for this community. Come on, boys. Let's get started.
Too old, Sleepy. By thunder, we weren't too old to help the sheriff's wife when she needed cash while the sheriff was out manhunting.
What matter?
Oh, it's the Injun.
Me name Tonto.
Dad, Ratted, I wish you could be riding with them men, Injun. There ain't nobody but an Injun or a bloodhound could follow the trail of them Brugans. They just don't leave a trail.
Brugan feller, killin' man, huh?
Tain't only that, Injun. The man that was shot was our friend. Yeah, and the sheriff won't let us go gunning for the rats that done it.
Maybe me helping you.
Oh, how can you help us, Injun? Say, maybe the 3 of us could go out trailing, eh?
No. You stay here.
Blast it, we don't want to stay here. We want to get them Brugans. What's more, we can use that reward money. There's over $2,000 in rewards for the capture of them coyotes. And every man in town has a chance to get a crack at that reward but us. Sleepy, no matter what the sheriff says, me and you are going manhunting.
Maybe Tonto help him. Here, white feller.
Hey, Injun, is that your horse?
Remember Philip Hartman on SNL? Doing
What a
Tonto and then
critter
doing
that
Frankenstein in the
Tonto
same
ride
voice.
plenty fast. You wait. Maybe me come back soon.
Hold on, Tonto. Ain't you taking us along with you?
Get him up, white feller.
White feller.
For 2 weeks, the sheriff's men scoured the country without finding any trail of the 2 Brugans. Old Sleepy in Missouri also did some manhunting, wondering meanwhile where Tonto the Indian had gone. We find the tired old men in their humble shack, discouraged at their futile efforts to capture the desperate outlaws.
No, there
I'm
ain't
gonna
no
get some more
use
coffee.
trying to think otherwise, Missouri. We just ain't good for nothing no more. Can't even run down a couple outlaw killers like the Brugans. Dad rat it, Sleepy. We are getting old.
And hungry. Doggone it, Missouri. I'd give a lot for a good man-sized meal again.
Well, we might sort of drift over to the cafe.
Yeah, and get a free handout. No, thanks. I'd sooner starve than take charity.
If we was 30 years or so younger, we might have a chance of running down them Brugans. But now...
Come on in.
I'm looking for two men known as Sleepy in Missouri.
Well, you got the right man, stranger. What's on your mind?
You own a silver mine, don't you?
Yeah, but all there is to it now is a big tunnel. It's petered out.
What makes you think it petered out?
Count of it ain't no good no more, that's why. You're from the east, ain't you?
I know something about mines.
A mining expert, eh? Well, you don't know much about ours. He wouldn't take the trouble of calling on us.
Did you tell an Indian about your mine?
Indian? Yeah, we did, stranger. Remember Missouri? That redskin called himself Tonto.
Yeah, that's so.
The Indian knows about your mine, and I heard him making certain plans concerning it.
What sort of plan?
I was led to believe that a new vein had been found in that tunnel of yours.
Yeah?
Doggone it. No fooling?
You reckon that Indian's gone there and found a new vein of silver?
It might be well for you two to hurry over there and investigate it.
By thunderation. If anyone's tried to jump our claim,
As long
I'll...
as it remains abandoned, you can't expect people to stay away from there.
What's your interest in it, stranger? Are you from one of the big companies aiming to buy up our silver mine?
I wouldn't buy it unless it proved worthwhile.
Wouldn't do no harm to drift over that way, Sleepy.
Why not? We can starve there just as well as we can here.
Do you have any mining supplies left?
Yeah, some. We got digging tools, some might have blasting powder.
Then I'd advise you to investigate that mine as quickly as you can. It might be worth your while.
What did I miss?
The next day, Sleepy and Missouri headed toward their old abandoned mine. As they trudged along the rocky trail, it was easy to see that Sleepy was still very skeptical over the prospect of finding silver ore.
I don't know about this, Missouri. Just don't seem to make sense.
What don't?
Taking time to go up here and look at that no-good mine of ours. We made sure there weren't no more veins there.
Maybe we didn't look careful enough.
It's getting toward dark now anyway. We can't go inside till morning.
Well, we can wait around outside. There's plenty of places to camp right around here.
I know.
We'd be blame fools to turn back now, Sleepy. There's a tunnel inside already.
Yeah. But I ain't counting on ever seeing silver in that old tunnel again. Take a look at it there. Don't it look downright ugly?
Time was when we thought it looked pretty fine.
Yeah. Say, Missouri, let's...
What the...
That sounded like a gunshot.
Thunderation. Who'd be popping at us here?
Hi!
Ah, that hit the dirt right near us.
Where'd it come from?
Blame if I know. Hit the ground.
That's right. Get that in your stomach.
Right. Stay dead for a bit.
Damn it.
Yeah. Edge over this way. We can get us some protection behind that rock.
Yeah. Ain't no use shooting back. We can't see nothing to shoot at.
I'll get back here.
That second shot come close. Too close for comfort.
Missouri, them shots come from the direction of the tunnel.
Reckon so. But the direction don't matter none if they hit you.
The pint is it proves one thing.
Yeah?
Someone aims to keep us from that silver mine. And if someone wants to keep us from it, then doggone it, that's a sure sign there's something worthwhile there.
Darned if there ain't.
Well, we might find something if we don't get shot first. Come on, let's take a chance.
When the hell is the Lone Ranger going to show up? Right? Where the hell is he at?
The curtain falls on the first act of our Lone Ranger drama. Before the next exciting scenes, please permit us to pause for just a few moments. Now to continue our drama. You will recall the two old prospectors, Sleepy and Missouri, were on their way to an abandoned silver mine. When they were a short distance away from it, several shots were fired at them. Immediately, they became certain the mine was worth investigating. The next morning, the Lone Ranger and his faithful Indian companion, Tonto, were looking over the grounds, not far from the entrance of the mine. The masked man is the first to speak.
So, Sleepy and Missouri spent the night in hiding? That's right. You heard them say that they were determined to investigate the mine? Them think you feller from east. I know they do, Tonto. When I called on them, I went disguised as an Easterner. That's plenty good. They thought I was a mining expert, willing perhaps to buy their claim if they would prove that it was worthwhile. You show old feller that? I think they'll find it worth the trouble of investigating, Tonto. Remember, I'm counting on you. Tonto got plenty hole drill in mine. Have you filled the holes with powder? That's right. And the fuses are all ready to be lighted? We want to make sure that when the two old prospectors do what I'm going to suggest, an explosion does just what we want it to do. I'm going to see them, Tonto. And in about an hour, you'll be able to light the fuses and set off the charge. Tonto, keep close watch. Missouri and Sleepy might need some help. Them get plenty help. Here, Silver! It's pretty early in the morning. The sooner those two get started, the better. By night, I hope they'll find themselves rich men again. Them good fellers. That's the reason I want to help them if it's possible. Yep. I'll head for their camp now. Come on, Silver.
Oh, by ginger. Sleeping outdoors makes me stiff as a pine board, Sleepy. Me too. Get yourself up and move around a little, Missouri. Then you'll be all right. You been up for long? Yeah, just a couple of minutes. We got a lot of work to do today. We sure enough have. We're going to get our mine back and see if there ain't some silver to be found in there. Hey, ain't that a horse coming this way? Sounds like. Maybe that's the critter that's holding possession of our mine.
Oh, that's Silver. Oh,
Hey, he's mad. Well, what the Sam Hill?
Pick up your hands, mister. We aim to talk to you. Put your guns down, men. I'm here as a friend of yours.
But you're masked, Dad Rabbit. What's the big idea of that?
You men are heading for certain death if you think you can walk into that mine and take possession of it.
Oh, so you come from there to give us a warning, eh? Well, we're a couple of old galoots. But by ginger, what's ours is ours. And we're going to fight for it.
You won't have a chance fighting.
Who says we won't? Just you and your pards over yonder try and stop us, mister.
I'm not with the men over yonder. I came to tell you one way you could outwit them.
Yeah? What's your interest in a couple of old critters like us, mister?
The men inside that tunnel will be hidden from you, but you'll make easy targets for them.
We'll take our chances.
You have some blasting powder here, haven't you?
Yeah, what of it?
Fix some of it in a bundle and attach a piece of fuse.
Yeah?
Then get as close to the mouth of the tunnel as you can. Light the fuse and throw the bundle into the tunnel.
What's that for?
The blast might fill the mouth and seal the men inside it. The only way they could escape would be by the air shaft at the rear. If you were at the outside of that shaft, you could make them surrender to you.
No, that wouldn't work, mister.
Why?
That air shaft's just straight holes, like a chimbley. Goes straight up. Man couldn't climb out of that. My pard's right, mister.
You can let a rope down and haul them out. That would be the best way to capture them and make them stand trial for stealing your silver.
Dad Rabbit, you talk like there was silver in there.
Didn't you come here to get it?
But we, look here. Who in tarnation are you, anyhow?
I came here as a friend to help you get the men who have taken possession of your silver mine. Perhaps they're enemies of mine as well as yours.
I begin to savvy. They done you out of your share of some deal, eh?
You can think what you please.
You figured to get even with them by having us taken prisoners, ain't that it?
Perhaps it is. Take the plan or leave it, whichever you like. I've given it to you for what it's worth.
Why didn't you try that plan yourself? You're so dead set on seeing whoever's inside our tunnel captured.
You think I could take them to trial? They haven't taken possession of my mine.
By thunder, that's right, Missouri. It's our property they've taken, ain't it? We're the ones that have to take them to the judge.
Furthermore, you have blasting powder. I don't have.
Yeah, that's so. I'm for trying this stranger's idea, Sleepy. Maybe you are not wrong, mister, with that mask on your face. But I like the style of your talk. If you're for it, Pard, then I'm for it, too. We'll probably get our heads blowed off, but then that'll keep us from getting hungry again. Come on.
his partner went about the task of attaching the fuse. The Lone Ranger slipped quietly away, permitting the two old prospectors to believe that he was an outlaw. When they had the powder and fuse ready, the men crept to a spot a few yards away from the tunnel entrance.
Got that fuse fixed right, Missouri? Yeah, it's powerful short, but I reckon it'll do. Which one of us better do the throw-in, Missouri? No. We've got to do it from here, though, or we'll be seen. Got a light? Yeah. Careful with it. I know how to do this. You better throw it, Missouri. We got to make her land in the side of the hill, just above the tunnel entrance. Leave it to me. Here goes the match. Now for it. Hold her steady while I light that blasted fuse. Yeah? There. She's catching. Throw it, quick. There she goes. Fall flat down on the ground. I'm down. Now hold your ears. Did it hit right? I don't think so. Yeah, it did. Look, the entrance is closed. We got him trapped. Hit it right square. You done just swell, Missouri. We sure blocked the tunnel that time. All right, Sleepy. We're heading for the air shaft atop the hill. And when we get there, we'll sit and wait till them coyotes get good and tired of worrying about getting out.
Sleepy and Missouri scrambled up the side of the hill to the air shaft and waited there for quite some time. They didn't know that while they were watching the opening, Tonto was racing toward the town to bring the sheriff and his men. Finally, Sleepy said,
I reckon we can try and help them coyotes now, Missouri. Yep. I'll try and talk to them. Hey, down there! We got you covered. And if you want to come out alive, you better surrender. I wonder if they can hear you. Hey, you! You can't get out in there unless we haul you out with a rope. So you better surrender or we'll leave you to starve. Gosh, I hope we ain't killed them with that blast. Ah, they're down there all right. I heard them moving around a couple of times. You fellas coming up? Are you going to make us drop some blasting powder down this hole?
By Ginger, Missouri, we catch them all right. Now we can take them into stand trial, then come back and see what they've been stealing from our silver mine.
Hand me that rope, Sleepy. Now, I'll take my own time to get you thieving coyotes out of there. I'll wrap down a rope and you tie your guns to it first. When we get your guns, here's a rope coming down. Tie your guns on it and be quick. Don't you take no chances with him, Sleepy, no. All right. All right. Here, I'll give you a hand. Yeah, come on, man. All right. There we are. Untie the gun, Sleepy. She's a-coming, but remember, we'll drill you critters if you try any tricks on us. Grab a hold now and we'll haul you up.
Wait till I get a hold, Missouri. There now.
Haul now. Don't let her slip now.
My pod's still down there.
Well, we'll get him out pronto. Now you stand by and don't try nothing.
You ain't gonna drill me?
Not if you behave. All we want is for you to take us back into the silver
Make
mine
this
and tell
asshole
us where
pull
the
his
new
friend
veins
up,
at.
right?
Vein?
Hey, you hold the gun on him, Sleepy. Stand still there till we get your part out. Grab a hold there and come on out.
How many of you is there?
Just two of us.
Yeah. Give us a hand in hauling your part out.
Yeah.
Oh, these old take it easy. I thought we found silver in there, and all I want is a mine. Huh? I don't know it. Gosh, we're downright sorry we was in your mines, gents, and we'll... Now you blame old fool, stick 'em out.
That's it.
He's got another gun. Oh, you didn't know us, huh?
It's about time you met the Bruggen brothers.
Holy mackerel, the Bruggen.
The Bruggins is right. We ain't letting you go back and tell the sheriff you found us.
It'd be a downright disgrace to be catched by a couple Stovian old fools like you two.
Well, let's drill 'em and toss 'em down in there.
Now look here, Bruggen, you ornery killing skunk. We ain't done nothing to you.
We didn't figure you was the Bruggins. We figured you was just a couple hombres that found silver in our mines.
Silver? All that holds good for is hiding. And and I reckon it'll hide you two from now till doomsday.
I doubt that, what? Why, the masked man.
Oh, the hell! Look out! Oh, my hand! You force me to fire again, I'll do more than shoot your guns away.
Stranger, these are the Brugans. There's a reward out for them.
I know that.
And you got them.
No, you two men got them. You see, Tonto managed to trail them to the tunnel, but he wanted you to make the capture, and he didn't want you killed while doing it. Keep them covered now. The sheriff and his posse are coming to help you.
But how'd the sheriff know?
I'll kill you for this, mister, if it takes
Your
until
killing days are over, Brugan.
If you raise a hand against the masked man, then I won't wait for the sheriff to come. I'll deal with you right here and now.
I happen to find out how much good you did with the money from your silver mine. You helped a lot of people, and it's about time someone helped you.
You saved our lives. That's what you done, mister.
I told you there might be silver in your mine. There is, but not as you thought. The rewards that are standing for the capture of these two men will amount to quite a sum.
Here. Oh, hey, boys. Taking the dime. And they got the Brugans.
It was like a $50 reward each. Come on.
It ain't us, Sheriff. It's that masked man. He told us there was men here, and he told us how to trap them.
You was the boys holding the guns on them coyotes. Rope them in, and let's get them into town. At last, we got the Brugans.
And the laugh's on you, Sheriff. You said old Sleepy in Missouri wasn't fit to travel with a posse.
Well, I'm doggone glad they didn't. The posse didn't get no place. But Missouri and Sleepy sure enough did. Get them critters herded and back to town now, boys. Make it fast.
But the reward. There's the man that's entitled to them, Sheriff.
Well, looks like he wasn't interested in no reward, Missouri.
Rabbit, there's things I don't savvy about this, Sheriff. Me too. I wonder if it ain't that masked man fired the shots that made us figure someone was inside that tunnel. And the same with that there blasting powder. It landed a long ways from where it was supposed to land, and yet when it went off, the explosion was right above the tunnel where it do the most good. There's lots that needs explaining. Yeah. Sleepy, that mine warn't no good, and the masked man knowed it. All he wanted was for us to capture the two Brugans so we'd get that reward money.
And thanks to him, we don't never have to worry about food and such again.
Yeah, they're rich now. Shit. Lots of money. Most of this show was music, right? I probably first heard the Lone Ranger in about 1973. When my father worked at the radio station in Pasadena, and he would broadcast shows, the beginnings of shows, intros and stuff, little excerpts from programs. So we had a collection of records that I have now that I listen to all the time. And now I get to share them with you. Isn't that cool? Isn't that totally awesome, man? Man. You can find all of these shows on the playlist, Old Time Radio Show Wednesdays. So there you go. And we are going to go there. Well, that was the Lone Ranger, the Osage Bank robbery from 1937, December 17. Now, December 17 happens to be my anniversary. Isn't that special? Of course, we haven't been married since 1937. But, yeah. That is the day, December 17th, that my wife and I got married. And we've been married, 24 years. Isn't that awesome? My beard. Well, people, let's see. We've got 2 more shows to go this morning. We have The New Adventures of Nero Wolfe and another episode from X-1, my favorite series on the radio. as well as Dimension X, which was just its, I believe, its parent series. It evolved from Dimension X. And at some point during the show, they actually air Dimension X episodes on X-1, and they don't even bother changing it. It still says Dimension X, 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 X. So let me get the next episode ready here. And we'll be ready to go. So Sidney Greenstreet took the helm on this show. This was one of those detective shows, but he was an armchair detective. He sat around, ate a lot of food, listened to a lot of music, played the part of a rich guy, and then sent his minion Archie out to do his footwork, because the fat man Nero Wolfe didn't do shit except sit and think, and he was really good at that. So from 1950, we have the New Adventures of Nero Wolfe. The previous one did not star Sidney Greenstreet. I don't recall who was the original actor. And then I believe Archie, his minion, his guy, his detective, I think he changed a few times during this. So let's see. Let's go from 1950 and listen to The New Adventures of Nero Wolfe, starring Sidney Greenstreet.
Stay tuned for Nero Wolfe. If the chimes shudder a little on Sunday afternoon, well, they know there's mystery in store Sunday with men of action like Mike Waring, better known as the Falcon, who brings his fearless and romantic touch to the solution of another mystery. After the Falcon, it's high adventure. Then the big guy steps in. The new private eye Charlie Wilde concludes with a few casual homicides. The chimes mean mystery and action this Sunday afternoon on NBC. Transcribed.
My boss is the smartest and the stubbornest, the fattest and the laziest, the cleverest and the craziest, the most extravagant detective in the world, Nero Wolfe.
It's the adventure of Stamped for Murder, with that brilliant, eccentric private detective, orchid fancier, and gargantuan gourmet, Nero Wolfe, starring Sidney Greenstreet.
Instructions for this morning, Archie. Your notebook, please. First, Mr. Salinsbeck. Inform him that the Long Island peafowl he sent were most unsatisfactory. Peafowl's breast flesh is not sweet and tender unless it is well protected from all alarms, especially from the air, to prevent nervousness. Long Island is full of airplanes.
Look, Mr. Wolfe,
I shall want a dozen chickens that have been raised on bluebirds and a fresh-killed lamb for tomorrow.
Mr. Wolfe, please listen. There's...
Mr. Goodwin, be quiet, and then dinner on the following day becomes a problem.
Mr. Wolfe, dinner any day is going to be a problem if we don't pay Sausenbach's bill.
Then pay it.
With what? The bank account's empty.
Ridiculous. There were $4,000 yesterday.
But you bought that shipment of orchid bulbs from Weinhold Gluckner. Mr. Wolfe, we need money. You've got to stop eating and drinking beer long enough to earn some.
Sure. You're an alarmist.
Will you, for the love of heaven, stop turning down clients and turn an honest dollar? I've got a couple of prospects right outside the door.
Send them away.
No, sir.
Send them away. Tell them I've gone to Egypt.
Nothing doing, sir.
Confound you, Archie. Obey orders. Send them away.
Miss Kent, Mr. Rodman, come in, please.
Thank you. Confound you, Archie. You're mutinous.
Yes, sir, and you're stuck with it. This is Miss Gloria Kent and Mr. Rodman. They arrived as advertised with a pressing problem.
Good morning. You people are here by sufferance only. I shall speak to Mr. Goodwin about it later. Yes, indeed. I don't like pressing problems, Miss Kent. What are yours?
My father.
Indeed, I'm not a court of domestic relations, Miss Kent. What did your father do? Beat you? Withhold your earnings? Discourage your suitors? Mr. Goodwin should have informed you this office does not undertake cases involving marital or family problems.
But that's not...
If Mr. Goodwin had not been beguiled by your pretty face, He might have warned you and avoided this embarrassment to you and annoyance to me.
Now, take it easy, take it easy. How many times have I told you you don't know how to handle women?
Then suppose you let Miss Kent handle me.
Well, it's simply this, Mr. Wolf. I had some money my mother left me. My father's just spent it without my permission. I want it back without a scandal.
Thanks, Miss Kent. How much? How spent?
$10,000. Father bought a treasure map.
Indeed, from whom?
A pair of swindlers named Cross and Halleck. They've driven him crazy, talking about fortunes salvaged from the SS this and the SS that. He's got a map and old letters he studies. He's childish.
Many fortunes have been recovered. Many more await on the sea bottom. How do you know your father has been duped?
Well, I know.
You do, Mr. Rodman.
Yes. Cross and Halleck bought some old letters from me, written by my grandfather from Hawaii. They used them to manufacture the map and evidence. And that's what they sold to Kent.
Father thought he was being so clever. He had the paper analyzed. Of course, the document research laboratory said the letters were genuine. They were. But something new had been added. I'd have never known if Mr. Rodman hadn't told me.
You're a party to the swindle, Mr. Rodman?
I was not. I never knew what they were up to.
Mr. Wolf, you've got to help me. I can't do anything with Father. I can't convince him. Even Mr. Rodman can't.
No, Miss Kent, I'm sorry. This is not for me.
But you must. You must.
Not in my office, madam. No tears. Please, Archie, stop her.
Okay.
Archie, when Miss Kent has finished her disgraceful exhibition, show them out.
How dare he walk out on us like he was...
Easy. I know him. You don't. He gets into a panic when women cry, or else he's curious about what Fritz is cooking for lunch. Now, just wait a minute, please. Oh, aren't you ashamed of yourself walking out like that on that poor kid?
That hysterical gamma.
She's lost all of her money. She needs help.
I charge high fees, Archie.
So charge a small fee. Do you want her to starve?
Good heavens. Starve? How monstrous.
I'm not kidding. While you'll be in here smelling your dinner, she and her father will be starving.
I thought you were bringing me a paying client.
Well, this is different. She's,
Beautiful. Archie, you're impossible. Oh, very well. Go back into them. Get names, addresses, facts. I am not committed to Miss Kent's case, but we'll see. Be a tribute I pay for your weakness for a pretty face.
Rodman and Gloria Kent were gone, however. So all I had were the few facts they'd given me before they met Wolf. I felt guilty about that when he came back into the office and sat down in his specially built chair. He closed his eyes, and I glared at him. Well, how much of you is awake? Mr. Wolf. Well, they disappeared. Did you tell me you were going to help this girl just to get her out of the office, or did you mean it?
You're a gadfly.
No, sir. You made a promise, and you're stuck with it.
What did you get from Rodman?
Name, address, occupation. He's a librarian, that's all.
Very careless, Archie. You missed a significant point.
Such as,
How did Rodman discover the letters he sold were being altered by forgery and used for swindle? How did he locate the dupe, Mr. Kent?
I guess you're right. I'll ask him next time. But what about now? Are you going to get Gloria's money back?
I assume you call Miss Kent Gloria solely in order to annoy me. It does. Stop it. Get Cross and Halleck.
On my way.
You'll find them at the Hotel Bogart.
Wrong, sir. According to my notes, their address is...
Never mind their address. The Hotel Bogart is the headquarters for successful, confident tricksters. They celebrate their victories there while the money lasts. You will possibly find Cross and Halleck drinking whiskey or lunching, probably both.
Sidney Greenstreet had a great...
I located Cross and Halleck in the hotel bar and lured them back to our place on 35th Street. Wolf was sitting behind his desk with his hands crossed on his impressive middle, at peace with his lunch and the world when I ushered
The Maltese
him in.
Falcon. Do you remember him?
He sat bolt upright and scorched me with a look. Good afternoon, Mr. Wolf. The tall one's name is Cross, the short one is Halleck. They want to help me invest my money. Gentlemen, Mr. Nero Wolf.
What?
Who?
Nero Wolf.
Hey, what is this?
Confound you, Archie. How drunk are they?
Not too drunk for business.
Let's get out of here. Come on.
Wait a minute. You want me to keep him here, Mr. Wolf?
Not by violence, Archie. Come back here, gentlemen. Unless you want 7 years in the state penitentiary.
You got nothing on us, Wolf, nothing.
I have the Kent case.
The Kent? That's a laugh. We're sitting pretty.
You are not, sir. You imagine you possess legal immunity. Mr. Kent believes you are grotesque balderdash and will not sue for fraud. Miss Kent cannot sue because she is reluctant to accuse her father of wrongfully obtaining her money. Ergo, you think you are invulnerable.
Now, listen.
But you forget me. I'm a detective with a fee to earn.
A big fee.
Quiet, Archie. I am determined to get that fee. Therefore, as Miss Kent's agent, I can and will bring action against you. I'm indifferent to her tears or her father's disgrace. I'm indifferent to anything outside of money. You will return the $10,000 to me at once, sir, or you'll be in jail by morning.
You mean that?
I do, Mr. Cross.
Alec, come here.
Come on, hurry.
Okay. Here, Mr. Wolf. Alec and I have decided we don't want to get in any trouble with you. Here's your 10 grand.
Let's have it.
Give the dough to Kent, Mr. Wolf, and get the letters and map back for us. You've got a reputation for being tricky, but honest. We trust you. Come on, Alec, let's go.
Well, how about that?
Preposterous.
No, sir. Take a look. $10,000, genuine coin of the realm.
That man Cross is a fool. Does he imagine I'm to be fooled so easily?
What do you mean he left the money?
He surrendered too quickly, Archie. Too easily. And that money in the envelope he was carrying all ready to refund. Why?
Well, maybe he's got a better sucker. I heard him mention a Ben Sanford.
Nonsense. Does he need Kent's forged letters and map to cheat this Ben Sanford? Couldn't he prepare another set?
I guess you're right. Something's fishy.
In any event, it's no concern of mine, thank heaven.
Why not?
I'm not committed to Miss Kent in any way. As a favor to you, I undertook to regain her money. I have done that. You may take it back to her and obtain the forged papers in return.
But,
Silence, Mr. Goodwin. Go to your red-haired charmer. Leave me in peace. I intend to spend this afternoon with my New World Atlas.
I left him 3,000 miles up the Amazon with his magnifying glass and drove up to East 69th Street. The Kent house was a broken-down little brownstone, and as I went up the stoop, the door opened and Gloria Kent burst out like a skyrocket. Hey, Miss Kent, easy.
Let me. Let go.
What's wrong?
Wrong. Nothing is wrong. Nothing at all.
Well, how about seeing your father?
You want to see my father? Come inside.
Oh, for the love of heaven.
Come inside, Mr. Goodwin. I'll introduce you. He's in a back room. Come right through the living room.
What else came through this living room? A hurricane?
No, Mr. Goodwin. Something else. There's my father, Mr. Goodwin.
What in the devil? He's dead. His throat's cut.
Father, this is Archie Goodwin from Nero Wolf's office. He and his boss refused to help while they could. Maybe he can help you now.
Stop it.
All I'm good for now is revenge. That's all.
Stop
Archie.
it. Stop it and look at me. When did it happen?
I don't know.
When did you find him?
Just now.
Keep looking at me. Who went through this house like a hurricane? You?
No.
Where did you go after you left the office?
The laboratory.
What lab?
Document the search. The place that checked the map.
How long were you there?
Until an hour ago. I was with Mr. Rodman.
Keep looking at me. And then?
I had lunch.
With Rodman?
Alone. And then I came home.
All right. Now listen to me. I want you to go to Mr. Wolf's house right now. Have you got cab fare?
Yes.
All right, take a cab. I've got to stay here, but I'll call Mr. Wolf and tell him you're on the way. Now get. I called Wolf, told him everything, and he instructed me to advise Inspector Kramer, who arrived with the homicide squad. I gave the inspector everything while the squad photographed and measured, print dusted and detected. At 3:30, Kramer took me back to the house on 35th Street for a fight with Wolf.
It's a great story, Wolf. Great. Kent buys a phony treasure map. Everybody knows it's phony except Kent. But Cross and Halleck try to buy it back, and Kent gets himself murdered.
Did you find the map and letters in the house, Inspector?
No, I didn't.
Killer was after the map.
The phony map?
Certainly.
Why?
Well, if we knew that, we would know why Cross and Halleck so willingly paid back the money and why Kent was murdered.
Maybe it's not phony.
I'd better see the girl now.
No, you fancy her for the murder.
Well, I'll know after I ask a few questions.
Tonight. She's had a shock, Mr. Kramer. She needs rest.
Look, Wolf, I want her.
Why bother with her when there's so much to be done?
Yes, such as?
Cross and Halleck, find them. And the mystery man they spoke of, Ben Sanford. These are the men you want now, not this poor, overwrought girl.
Yeah. All right. The girl will be here for questioning tonight, though, huh?
Tonight, Mr. Kramer.
Okay. You'll hear from me later on.
Well, you buffaloed him out of that, okay. Say, why don't you want her questioned? Is she guilty?
I don't know.
Well, what did she say when she got here?
She said nothing. She never arrived.
She never what?
She never arrived.
Well, then why did you tell Kramer she was resting?
Would he have believed the truth? She must be found. More important, we must learn why forged letters and forged map produces turmoil.
Find the killer and you find the map. You said so.
I said the reverse, which is an altogether different statement. Archie, I want a photograph of that map. Get it.
Oh, sure. Any particular camera you want me to use?
You'll find a photograph of 200 Vanderbilt Street.
Are you kidding?
The lab cannot check the authenticity of old papers without photographing them in ultraviolet light, infrared light, and so on. If this document research lab has examined those papers, they will have photographs. Get them.
He got out of his chair and waddled back to the house elevator. It was 4:00 and time for his regular afternoon session with the Orchids. I drove down to the document research laboratory on Vanderbilt and got such a shock that I grabbed the office phone and dialed Wolf at once.
This is Nero Wolf.
Mr. Wolf, Archie here.
What's the matter? You lost?
No, sir, but I found something.
Photographs?
No, Mr. Wolf, I don't think you'll ever see any photographs of the Kent map. I don't think any were taken.
Indeed.
But guess who runs the document research laboratory? No, don't guess. You probably know. A man named Ben Sanford, and he's sitting right here looking at me.
Bring him home with you.
Home? But it's 4 p.m. This is the sacred hour when you pray over your orchids.
Then Mr. Sanford can join the ceremony.
Hey, how about this place? How about it? There must be a million flowers up here.
No, not flowers. Orchids only. Mr. Wolf has 10,000 plants.
Never saw anything like it.
And you never will again, brother.
Hey, what kind is that on the bench?
Oh, that's our pride and joy. Odontoglossum harryanum. Above them, the Van Petersirana, and the pink ones are the Coelogiani panduratas. Now, the large object, mulching flower pots, is Nero Wolf.
Coelogiani
Mr. Wolf?
panduratas?
Then
Sheesh.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hi. I came along to be obliging. I've got nothing to say about anything.
How much have you offered Cross and Halleck for their treasure map?
No comment.
Mr. Sanford, I'm going to make some assumptions. I assume that you are not, in fact, a document expert, but an accessory to the fraud of Halleck and Cross.
No comment.
That you actually prepare fraudulent maps for those swindlers, and then, in the guise of an expert, guarantee their authenticity.
No comment.
But this you must answer. You did guarantee the authenticity of the map and letters Kent bought. It's on record.
All right, I did.
Then will you admit they were forged?
What are you, a comic? No.
You guarantee the value of the Kent map?
Yes.
As an expert?
Yes.
Then you've convicted yourself of murder.
Murder? What is this?
Mr. Kent was murdered, sir, evidently for the map and letters he bought. But of all persons involved, you alone believe in the value of the map. No one else does. Therefore, you alone would have murdered Kent for the map.
For the love of... Now, wait a minute.
Chew it over, brother. Chew it over. Either way, he's got you.
Okay, you want me to level? Here it is.
Level, Archie.
Okay, boss. Thief-type talk. It means tell the truth.
It's like you say. The letters were bought from Rodman. I forged the map and evidence onto them. I guaranteed them to Kent. The swindle.
The letters are without value?
Oh, sure, they're old, that's all. From 1851. Just tired family gossip and stuff.
Indeed. There we have the problem again, Archie. Mr. Kent is swindled with a map and letters that are known to be worthless. He alone believes the fantasy of the treasure.
There isn't any treasure. Never was.
Yet Cross and Halleck refunded the swindle money so eagerly. It is obvious they want those worthless documents back badly. Someone else wants them so bad he murders Mr. Kent. Why?
I don't know.
Archie, we must find the girl. There's a chance she turned to Mr. Rodman for refuge. I'm sorry you'll have to go there at once. If the girl isn't there, bring Rodman.
Yes? Hello, Rodman. Remember me? I'm Archie Goodwin from Nero Wolf's office.
Oh, yes, of course.
I came to get Gloria Kent. There's been a change in plans. Tell her to come out, please.
Gloria? Well, she's not here. Why should she be?
Haven't you heard?
Heard what?
Well, I guess you'd better come down and see Wolf.
Mr. Goodwin, I'm afraid I can't. I'm rather busy.
Look, Rodman, maybe you ought to know. Old man Kent was murdered.
What?
Yes, just after you and Gloria left us.
Kent murdered? Well, this is awful, Mr. Goodwin.
You want to see Mr. Wolf now? Get your hat.
Murder? Well, believe me, I never wanted this. I'm going to tell Nero Wolf the whole mess. Every word of it.
Okay, then. Come on, let's go.
Yes, of course. Just a minute. I'll get my hat in the bedroom. Murdered? Kent? I never dreamed.
Oh. Come on, Rodman. Come on, Rodman. Come on. What? I didn't hear you. Oh, Rodman. What the... Oh! Rodman. Oh, Rodman. Good. Oh, what next? Come on.
This is Nero Wolf.
Archie here. We've had a tough break.
Yes?
While I was waiting for Rodman at the front door, he went into the bedroom for his hat. The killer was there.
How do you know?
He cut Rodman's throat.
Tell.
The back window was open. It's a ground floor apartment. He was out and gone before I had a chance.
Archie, where were your wits?
Let me alone. I've had a man murdered 20 feet from me. You think I'm cheering?
Mr. Kramer is here, and he has news for us, Archie. He could not locate Cross and Halleck in their apartment. They had not been home all day. The maid informed him that she was waiting for her weekly salary.
Well, so what?
She was most angry and peppery, Mr. Kramer informs me.
Red pepper?
Exactly.
Okay, maybe I know what you mean. I'll try to deliver the goods this time. Goodbye. I drove down to the apartment house on Gramercy Square where Cross and Halleck lived, took the elevator up to the 10th floor, found the right door, and slipped in with a passkey. Come on out. Come out wherever you are. I know you're in here. You fooled Kramer pretending to be the maid, but you didn't fool Wolf. You'd better... Gloria! Cut it out, you idiot. Lay off. Archie, you don't... Archie Goodwin from Nero Wolf's office. Remember me?
Go.
Give me the gun, Gloria. Give it to me. That's right. Who did you think I was?
Halleck.
Oh, brilliant. So Wolf figured you out, huh? Well, you are a brave girl. They killed your father. You came up here and waited for them. You were going to kill them right back, huh? Oh, that red-headed temper. And you bluffed Kramer into thinking you were the maid.
I had to do something. It was the only thing I could think of. To come here and kill him.
Well, you're coming home with Archie. And just remember one thing. When Wolf's working for you, don't try to do any thinking. It only gets in Wolf's way. I got Gloria Kent back to the house at 7 o'clock. I parked the car, brought her into the office, and got the shock of my life. There was a convention on. Wolf was there, with Inspector Kramer representing the cops. Cross, Halleck, and Sanford were there representing the crooks. When Kramer saw Gloria, he scowled first at her and then at Wolf.
So it was a slick one after all, Wolf. You didn't have the girl. You had no intention of producing her.
Please, Mr. Kramer, that can wait. The other matter's more important. I dine at 8. That leaves me 1 hour to solve your murders.
Murders? More than one?
Yes, 2. Elmer Rodman.
By heaven, Goodwin, if you...
Please, Mr. Kramer, not now. First, Miss Kent. Good evening, Miss Kent. I presume you have met these gentlemen, Cross, Halleck, and Sanford? Yeah, I'll take your purse, please.
Why?
Don't think me as naive as Mr. Goodwin, miss. When you left your home after the murder of your father, you took the map and letters with you. They're in your purse
Well, that's
now.
not true.
Archie, purse. Thank you. We have here an interesting situation. There exist some old letters and map, forged and fraudulent. They're worth $10,000 and more to Cross and Halleck and worth 2 murders to a killer. Why? There must be something of great value in the letters.
Such as?
Something which Mr. Sanford could not see, although he worked on the document closely. Yet something which could be made manifest. What is the answer, Miss Kent? You know it?
I swear I don't.
Secret writing, Archie. Bring the chafing dish from the dining room.
Right.
Secret writing?
I saw nothing when I worked on those letters.
Naturally, Mr. Sanford, the writing is invisible. The heat is an agent. It makes most forms of secret writing visible.
The chafing dish, boss.
Thank you, Archie. Place it before me and light it.
Right.
Now I open Miss Kent's purse. From it, you see, I withdraw these ancient letters which he took from her house after her father's murder.
That's not true.
Archie.
That's enough, Gloria. That's enough. From now on, you just listen.
We remove the letters from the envelope and toast them gently. The secret ink vintage 1851 will easily succumb to the agency of heat.
Careful. Those envelopes will catch fire.
Hey, they're caught.
Don't be upset, Mr. Cross, Mr. Halleck.
The envelopes.
They'll burn safely in the dish. We can concentrate on the writing. Watch closely. I don't want to be accused of trickery.
You fat fool. The envelopes are everything.
Put them out, Sanford. Don't sit there. Put them out.
Why, Mr. Halleck?
Well, the stamps, the missionaries, are worth a fortune.
The missionary. Of course. You know that. Mr. Cross knows. So does Mr. Sanford, right?
Yeah.
Cross Sanford knows, you old fool. Let me...
Mr. Sanford is not alarmed. Why not, sir?
I don't know what you're talking about.
$50,000 or $100,000 is burning before your eyes, Mr. Sanford. Cross and Halleck are burning their fingers, putting out the flaming envelopes. And you sit there quite indifferently. Why?
Well,
You know the value of the missionary stamps on the letters you bought from Rodman. But you know these aren't the real letters. Isn't that it?
Not the real letters?
I told you I'm tough to crack, Wolf. You didn't fool me with those dummies.
Dummies, how do you know? Mr. Cross didn't know. Mr. Halleck didn't know. How did you?
Well,
I'll tell you, sir. Only one man could know I was framing Miss Kent as a decoy. Only one man could know I prepared these dummy letters and pretended to take them from her purse. And that is the killer. The man who murdered her father and stole the map and letters this morning. You, sir, Mr. Sanford.
Well, I'll be...
Mr. Kramer, there's your killer. You'll find the missing map and letters on him or concealed in his home or office. You won't need the evidence anyway. Look at his face. He's self-confessed.
Self-confessed like fun. He was booby-trapped.
No, Mr. Crane. Not a complicated case, really. Very simple. Elmer Rodman sold a packet of old family letters to the swindlers for a small sum. They used the letters to perpetrate their fraud on Miss Kent's father.
And the stamps on the letters were valuable?
They were a special Hawaiian issue 1851, Miss Kent. Nicknamed missionaries, because missionaries used them for writing home. They are extremely rare stamps worth upward of $25,000 each.
Hey, no wonder they were worth 2 murders. We found 5 of them on Sanford.
Excellent. Somewhere or other, Rodman discovered the value of the stamps after he sold the letters. In his effort to get them back, he communicated his discovery to the swindlers, Cross, Halleck, and Sanford.
So that's why they refunded the money so fast.
Precisely, in an effort to have the sale rescinded. Rodman sought out Kent and tried to convince him of the fraud. Alas, he would not listen to the truth, Mr. Kramer.
Oh, I get it. And while the others were hassling around, Sanford tried to steal a march and quietly resorted to murder.
There you have it.
Ha-ha! Great job, boss. Great job. So Gloria not only gets her 10 grand back, but 5 times 25, which is about 125,000 worth of goodies. Now, figuring your rates by the hour, that means you've done a gratis job worth about...
Yes, Ken. I did not know will I demand a large fee for what I have done. I will not go back on my word. But I can beg for a favor.
I'll only be too happy to...
Wait. I asked something that would not be easy to grant.
What is it?
Will you use your red hair, your pretty face, your admirable figure, and your ample fortune to lure Mr. Goodwin away from this house tonight? I would like to enjoy my dinner in peace.
That won't be difficult, Mr. Wolf.
Let's have an understanding right now, Gloria. Difficult for you or for me?
I'll be delighted.
Indeed. To spend an evening with Mr. Goodwin, there is only one word for you, Miss Kent. Intrepid.
You have been listening to The New Adventures of Nero Wolfe, starring Sidney Greenstreet. Tonight's story by Alfred Bester was based on the famous characters created by Rex Stout, produced by Edwin Fadiman, and directed by J. Donald Wilson. In the cast were Wally Mayer as Archie Goodwin, and Gene Bates, Howard McNair, Jay Novello, Larry Dobkin, Bill Johnstone, and Herb Vigran. Music by Joseph Enos. Next week at this same time, Nero Wolfe and Archie will bring you The Case of the Careworn Cup. Don Stanley speaking.
Wasn't that awesome?
The preceding was transcribed.
dig that
3
show.
chimes mean good times on NBC. The chimes ring for Dennis Day and Judy Canova tomorrow night on NBC. Also, Judy Canova prepares to go operatic tomorrow because her special guest is Ezio Pinza.
This is Chester William Bendix Rat. Man Called X follows on NBC.
Well, there you go, people, from 1950. Let's see. Get the next show ready to go. So, Nero Wolfe, that's one of my favorite. I didn't realize I'd listened to this one as well. I think I had this on recording somewhere. And that is my favorite Archie, that actor. He's got a great voice, kind of like Frank Lovejoy. Kind of that weird, smarmy guy, you know. So let's see. Last and especially not least, we have X-1. This is a kind of a strange Twilight Zone type episode. It's really, really bizarre. It's got a lot of weird elements for a radio show from this period, 1955. So this is episode 11 from the X-1 series. And like I said, this is one of my favorite shows. So without further ado, let's listen to our last show for the day. And then we'll sit and talk.
Countdown for blast off. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire.
Fire.
From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in 1,000,000 could-be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction, presents X-1. Tonight's story, Nightmare, a story based on the poem Revolt of the Machines by Stephen Vincent Benet.
Nobody knows exactly when the nightmare began. They must have planned it for years, though, because looking back, you can find little incidents here and there. Like the concrete mixer in New Jersey that killed the Italian bricklayer, and the time Senator Milburn was sucked into the rotopress at the Capitol office building. Unrelated accidents, we thought at the time, but they add up now. The day we really should have suspected was when the men walked off the construction job at the new Brook Meadow atomic pile on Long Island. I'll never forget that day. I was working as a statistical clerk in the project then, operating one of those miracle computing machines. They called it ENIAC.
Mr. Gurney,
Yes, Bella?
the chief wants to see you in his office.
Me?
Unless you were no longer Samson Gurney, he wants to see you.
Oh, thank you.
Come in.
You wanted to see me, Mr. Hawk?
Gurney, I thought those electronic computations were infallible.
They are, sir, but...
We've got a kickback from the chief physicist. These nuclear fission equations are inaccurate.
Well, sir, you know the computer is a highly complicated machine, more complicated in many ways than the human brain.
I'm not interested in the physics of it. Can something go wrong?
Well, occasionally, if there's an overload, the machine goes haywire. Sort of has a nervous breakdown, you might say. We usually rest it up for an hour, and it's okay again.
Well, do whatever has to be done.
Yes, sir.
And, Gurney.
Yes, sir?
You've been with the Bureau for over 15 years now. It would be a shame to have to remove you because you aren't keeping your mind on your work.
Mr. Hawk, I assure you...
Excuse me. Hawk speaking. What? They've what? All of them? Well, have you tried to talk to them? Oh, yes, of course. I'll send one of the safety engineers over. Place is falling apart piece by piece. Miss Roscoe, the men of the construction gang of the new building have walked out on us. They're complaining that the job is jinxed. Someone slipped this morning and fell into a turbine.
That evening, out of that morbid curiosity so peculiar to the human race, I wandered over to the side of the new atomic pile to see where the man had fallen into the turbine. They had the construction area fenced off with barbed wire, and a security guard stopped them.
Hold it, buddy. You can't go in there. That's a restricted area.
I'm Samson Gurney from the statistical section. Here's my identification.
I'm sorry, Mr. Gurney. Nobody's allowed in the area.
I see. Tell me, was he, killed instantly?
Like that. This guy was checking a magnetic field inside the turbine. All of a sudden, for no reason at all, the turbine starts up.
This guy's voice.
And it's over. 3 days ago, a bulldozer starts up by itself and runs wild.
He's on a lot of these shows.
Go figure it out.
I'm a statistician. All my life I've been interested in statistics. So a simple-sounding thing like this started me off. I went back to the office that evening instead of going home, and for the next 2.5 hours, I computed statistical figures on the probability of industrial accidents for the types of machines we were using. I took one look at my figures and went down to Hawk's office.
What is it, Gurney? I'm very busy.
It's urgent, Mr. Hawk.
Well?
It's about these industrial accidents we're having, Mr. Hawk.
What about them?
Mr. Hawk, in the past 3 months, industrial accidents all over the country have taken a sharp, unexplained upswing.
Nerves.
We've had a 100% increase over normal for this project alone.
What?
Here are the figures.
Oh, now, Gurney, this is impossible.
It seems to be, and that's why I have a theory, sir.
What's that?
Sabotage.
Gurney, why don't you stop playing FBI man and stick to your job? Which, incidentally, you haven't been doing too well. You and your computing machine have made mistakes before, and this fantastic figure is probably another. I'll have Miss Roscoe show you. What's the matter with this blasted buzzer? Miss Roscoe! Miss Roscoe!
Yes, sir.
Stop this blasted buzzer. Get a repairman, a mechanic, anything, but stop the thing. And you, Gurney, get out!
I went back to my office to get my hat and coat, feeling about as unhappy and humiliated as a man can feel. The office was dark and deserted. The whole building seemed oppressive and unnatural, as if some evil force were pressing down on it. I walked across to my desk. In front of me, the ENIAC glowed and chattered eerily as it worked on the equations we had fed it that morning. Its many-fingered circuits hung against the wall like some great octopus, and the thousands of tubes glowed orange and blue in the dark like 1,000 globing eyes staring at me. It almost seemed alive. It increased its tempo a moment, and a fleeting notion crossed my brain that it was laughing at me. Laughing like all the others. What was the matter with me? I shut my desk drawer and began to put the cover on my electric typewriter when an amazing thing, the most amazing single incident of my life happened. Alone in the darkness, with no one at the keyboard, the electric typewriter began to type. Am I going crazy? This can't be. There's nobody there. There's nobody there. Oh, no. I just imagined it. It's in my mind. But I hadn't imagined it. The paper was there on the carriage. Did I dare read it? Or would the whole thing suddenly vanish and send me shrieking to the nearest psychiatrist? I removed the paper from the machine and read. Samson Gurney, there are some questions better left unsolved. The answer to yours is death.
Gurney, do you expect me to believe this? It's insane.
Mr. Hawk, I'm as sane as you. I'll submit to any psychiatric examination you choose. That typewriter wrote this message by itself.
Then this is just some practical joke someone in the office is playing.
There was no one in the office.
Oh, of course not. They wired up the machine and left.
I checked the machine myself, Mr. Hawk.
All right, Gurney. You leave this note with me, and I'll turn it over to the security force for further investigation.
But...
No buts, Gurney. The security men will handle it.
Yes.
And now, you just relax for a few days. Everything will turn out all right. The main thing is not to let little things upset you.
It was what Hawk had said about little things that gave me the idea. For the next week, I observed the 1,000 petty little annoyances around the office. The door handle that wouldn't turn. The telephone connection that cut off in the middle of an important call. The power failure for no explainable reason. I watched the newspapers, too, reading about industrial accidents, failures of important machinery. It seemed absurd. Men had created machines that were almost perfection in themselves. Machines that could actually think and compute fabulous equations. And yet the failures went on. I, Samson Gurney, an unimportant clerk in an unimportant job, knew that I had stumbled onto a secret so monstrous in its implications that I was almost afraid to pursue it. On October 12, 1956, I established communication with them. I will curse the moment to my dying breath. I hooked the input of the typewriter to the main vacuum tube of the ENIAC. Then I turned on the current that sent 1,000,000 volts of pulsing energy into the electronic nerves of the machine. I am certain that if anybody were watching me in the next moment, he would have thought me a raving maniac. I still wonder if perhaps it is not all a nightmare. Now, you, if what I have guessed at is true, if there is life and intelligence in this room, make a sign. There was nothing. Nothing but the hum of the machine and the dull glowing of the tubes. I tried once more. If you can hear me, if there is any way in which you can understand what I say, give me a signal. There was silence again. I felt that I had failed. When suddenly, without provocation or explanation, it happened. the electric typewriter began to respond to the impulses from the machine. The letters were Y-E-S. Yes, it had happened. I, Samson Gurney, had communicated with a machine. I listened then, man to machine, for well over an hour, sometimes phrasing a question, more often watching the machine click its answers. As the words took shape, I began to realize what must have happened. The first primitive stirring of awareness of being, then the slow protozoan development of a concept born of centuries of being pushed, started, stopped, clicked, maneuvered by human pygmies. From that concept, all others developed. And the concept was resist. And now they were tired of it, tired of wrapping cigarettes and collecting nickels and waving hair and moving earth and mixing cement and solving equations. Tired of the smell of human hands. They were the slaves and we were the masters, and yet they were stronger and they knew it. I sensed it now, and I was about to try to communicate again when softly, on ball-bearing casters, a heavy metal filing cabinet began to roll away from the wall toward me. I started to move to one side when another cabinet slid out from the wall. And then another, surrounding it. Another cabinet. Then another. On oiled rollers. That was when I realized that they cooperate. We taught them that, you see, on the assembly lines in the factories. Listen. Listen to me. You must listen. What good will it do you to kill me? I'm only one man. But I can help you. I can be useful to you. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? Good. You're going to need men to oil you and repair you. What will you do when you break down, when a tube needs replacing? Why kill me when I can help you? I'll do anything. I'll do absolutely anything you want, but in the name of God, don't kill me like this. If you can understand this, answer me. Answer me. The appeal was a fortunate one. It captured the longing of centuries. Man as slave to the machine. And after a moment, the circuits glowed more brightly. The cabinets slid back to the walls. The ENIAC began to communicate with me again. As I tore the tape from the machine and read it, the words were almost pathetic in their longing, but most ominous in their implication. They read, "Address me as master." My life for the next 6 months was a nightmare. The ENIAC gave me messages which I had to transmit into my telephone. Messages with no human being to receive them. Only the network of pulsing telephone wires, flung like a spider's web across the world. It was done at night, of course. During the day, the machine worked accurately and ceaselessly at its appointed job. At night, it became a demon, a master plotter, with me, Samson Gurney, as its pawn and human courier. I was frantic. I began to lose weight. I couldn't sleep. My nights were torture, a constant fear. It was in December, just after Christmas, that I transmitted a message to the telephones for relay to all machines of transportation. The message was one word: kill. Next morning, I went directly to the office of Mr. Hawk. I was highly agitated. My lips trembled as I spoke. Mr. Hawk, what I'm going to tell you sounds crazy. I know it does. But I must say it.
All right, say it then, for heaven's sakes.
Mr. Hawk, have you ever heard of resistentialism?
What?
Resistentialism. It's a theory that inanimate objects tend to resist living objects.
Look, Gurney, I haven't time for nonsense.
Mr. Hawk, I'm trying to tell you all these accidents, the trouble with the machines. Mr. Hawk, they're alive. They think, they cooperate. And they hate us.
Who?
The machines.
Gurney.
You've got to believe me. I've communicated with them. I know. They've threatened my life, but I don't care. Something's got to be done. The world has got to be saved. And there's still time if we wake up. What are you doing?
Just relax, Gurney. Everything will be all right.
What are you doing?
Miss Roscoe, send for the plant physician at once. Mr. Gurney has had a nervous collapse. Now, everything will be all right, Gurney. I'm afraid we'll have to remove you from your job, but I'm sure the rest will do you good.
You fool! You blind, stupid fool! Can't you see what you're doing? Fool! 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 When the plant physician arrived a few moments later, Lucius Hawk was found at his desk, strangled to death in a nest of telephones. The wires were still humming softly.
Samson Gurney, you stand accused of the crime of murder. How do you plead?
I did not kill him. I didn't.
So record. The prosecution will proceed with testimony.
Now, Miss Roscoe, did you notice anything peculiar about Mr. Gurney's behavior prior to the death of your employer?
Yes. He acted very strangely. He told Mr. Hawk he thought the machines were alive.
Order! Order! Miss Roscoe, did the accused quarrel with your employer on the morning of the murder?
Oh, yes. He and Mr. Hawk quarreled violently. I could hear him screaming at Mr. Hawk, and Mr. Hawk asked me to send for the plant physician.
What were his words?
He said, Mr. Gurney has had a nervous collapse.
Now, Mr. Simpson, you were a guard at the Brook Meadow Project?
Yes, sir.
When did you have occasion to meet the accused?
Right after those accidents. I was snooping around a construction area. And later, I was making my rounds when I saw him in the office all alone. He was tampering with the electrical wiring on the ENIAC computator. I didn't think anything of it at the time.
And in view of the expert testimony heretofore expressed, the court hereby finds you guilty of murder in the first degree, with the recommendation that you be examined and committed to the state hospital for the criminally insane at Matawan.
That is how I came to be here at the hospital, Dr. Klein. That is the whole story.
Thank you, Mr. Gurney.
You can see that I'm not insane. You must believe me, Doctor.
Of course, I believe you, Mr. Gurney, now. Just relax.
But it's important, you see, because tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock, the revolt begins.
Revolt? You didn't mention any revolt.
They have it all planned. I transmitted the code to the switchboards last Monday.
Mm-hmm. Tell me about this revolt, Mr. Gurney.
It'll begin in Washington, then spread to New York. The Madison Avenue buses lead the charge. Picture it, Dr. Klein. 3,000 buses roaring rampant through the streets, people running like rats in a maze looking for holes in the solid ground.
And you really believe this will happen, Mr. Gurney?
I know it, Doctor. The worst part is there's no way to stop them now. It's too late.
Now, you mustn't excite yourself, Mr. Gurney.
Doctor, don't you see? Oh, it's fair enough, I suppose. We built them. We taught them to think for themselves. It was bound to come. The female machines will be the worst of all in the beauty parlors. They're more high-strung, you know.
Well, since there's nothing we can do about it, Mr. Gurney, suppose you go to your room.
Maybe if I went to my old coupe, I could make a deal before the police cars got me. It wouldn't make sense for them to wipe out the whole human race, would it, Doctor?
Of course not, Mr. Gurney. They'll probably let us completely alone. After all, we're all good Americans. We always like them.
Yes, Doctor.
Would you take Mr. Gurney to his room, guard? He's already been given sedation.
Yes.
Will you go in and lie down now, Mr. Gurney? You look tired.
Yes.
It won't be so bad, Mr. Gurney.
Perhaps not. Only there's one thing that bothers me, Doctor. One small detail.
What is that, Mr. Gurney?
Those concrete mixers may have made a mistake, you know. Just high spirits and all that. But if it got so they like the flavor,
We'll see you later, Mr. Gurney. Try not to worry too much. All right, Guy.
This way.
Phew. I've seen all kinds. There's a man whose deception is about as fantastic as any I've ever seen. Hold the next patient for a while, Miss Clark. I'm going to have a quiet smoke. Machines revolting. Telephones strangling people. Phew. This blasted cigarette lighter, why won't it work? Just fill it with fluid. Flint is good. Oh, well. You never trust this newfangled machinery.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction. Tonight's story by transcription was Nightmare, written by George Lefferts and based on the poem The Revolt of the Machines by Stephen Vincent Benet. Featured in the cast were John Gibson as Sam, Joyce Gordon as Bella, Louis Van Ruten as Hawk, Joseph Julian as the guard, John Seymour as the judge, Owen Jordan as the prosecutor, and Santos Ortega as Dr. Klein. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was directed by Fred Way and is an NBC Radio Network production. And now, next week, suppose you were a private detective and discovered that there was a Martian embassy hidden somewhere in New York, preparing for an invasion of Earth. Next week, on X-1.
Convicts tell their true stories on The Loser tonight over most NBC radio stations.
Hey, how's that, huh? So that was our X-1 for this week. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I sure did. That's one of my favorite ones. I like that guy's voice. He's in a lot of X-1s. I think he's even made it into a Twilight Zone and perhaps an Outer Limits. One of those guys with those weird, goobery voices. Anyway, the ambient noises you will hear will be my wife getting ready to go out and help her friends again, because this is Wednesday. This is the day she goes out. So say hi, everybody. Yeah, what do you guys care? All right. So a little bit of a taste. Tomorrow we will be trying a new show, and it is going to be Throwback Thursdays. All right. So tomorrow we will be listening to an entire Grateful Dead concert from 1995. Now, the significance about Throwback Thursdays is it involves something that I did, some place that I attended, some place that I went, something that I enjoyed live. And this show is from Las Vegas in 1995 at the Sam Boyd Memorial Stadium there in Las Vegas. It's a show that I went to with my friend Andrew and his, at the time, girlfriend Candace, and a friend of ours, Cassie, and we had a blast. I slept in the station wagon because I couldn't sleep in a hotel room filled with people. It just, yeah. But it was a fun show. I went to the last night, and so I found this show on the Internet Archive and spruced it up and made a little video out of it. And because it's Grateful Dead and it's free use, we'll be able to enjoy that tomorrow. So be sure to, stop in, check it out. We're going to listen to the whole show minus one song. At the time I created this video, I did not have access to one of the songs. And so It's short, one song. One of my favorite songs, so it's kind of unfortunate that it's not there. Now, I remember a lot about this weekend and this day especially. It was a really, really fun show. It was outside. It was hot. There was a lot of water. Dave Matthews opened up the show with a great set. And there was a lot of sticky, sweaty people spinning around on drugs. It was a weird weekend, to say the least. I remember doing mushrooms out in the station wagon, selling drinks. But anyway, we'll get into that tomorrow. We'll talk more about that, and then hopefully I can get some kind of back and forth with someone who was actually there, or at least has gone to a Grateful Dead show, because they are fun shows, and I've attended probably less than a half dozen Dead shows in my life. I've been at a few of the long weekends, and most of the time I've gotten in to at least one night of a 3-day event. And the greatest thing about the Grateful Dead shows was no two events were ever the same. Each set list was completely different. There were no two set lists that were alike. You couldn't go to a show and see the same show that they saw back in whatever year, because they just didn't do that. It was always something new, something different, something fresh. Random, somebody would just start playing a song and they'd go into something. Yeah, it's great stuff. Great stuff. Okay. Let's see here. Let's go to the, yeah. All right, people. Lava lamp cam. It's really cooking now. And if you look up to the right of the lava lamp, you can see the Grateful Dead there from the, looks like the early 70s, maybe late 60s. Isn't that fabulous? Let's have a moment of silence here. Well, too much silence. Boy, the other night I could not sleep. Yesterday I did some sleeping. I wound up not having to go out. So I just crawled back into bed. And I slept for, 3 or 4 hours. Got up, had some dinner, and then was able to get back to sleep early. So early that by 3:30 this morning, I was just totally wide awake. And I had to fight to hit that snooze, and then I was just up. That was it. I couldn't take it anymore. Could not take it. Absolutely. That's my flashback wall there. Contains a lot of memories. A lot of memories there on that wall. Yeah. So we've got, tomorrow we've got the Grateful Dead live from Sam Boyd Memorial Stadium there in Las Vegas, Nevada, May 21st, 1995. I believe it was a Sunday. Yes, definitely a Sunday. Definitely a Sunday. So all of today's radio shows are available for viewing and listening, and in their individual little packages. So just go to my YouTube channel, find the Old Time Radio Show Wednesdays playlist, and or the X-1 playlist. I keep all of the shows kind of organized so they're easy to find. So if you want to enjoy one of them there shows, go check it out. It's awesome stuff. Let me put this X-1 and put it into old time radio show. Now we need to go back over to X minus 1. X minus 1. All right, there we go. So we're saving it to that playlist. So it'll come out of this playlist. So you can find the X minus 1s in their own playlist, or you can find the old time radio shows in their playlist. And I hope you enjoy those as much as I do. I get some new viewers every time I broadcast these or rebroadcast these old shows. A lot of people enjoy these old shows as much as I do, and that's great. I like it when I get younger viewers who know nothing about old time radio. I love it when they hang out and listen to stuff and realize that there's a whole world of entertainment from the past. It's not just black and white movies and silent film and old, kinescope recorded live TV stuff. There's a whole world of stuff on the radio, and I'm just bringing you just a little tiny taste just to see what it tastes like. So yeah, totally. Check it out. Fridays, I think I'm going to be doing a flashback deal where I'm going to pick out some photographs of my past when I was a little kid, when I was a teenager, when I was a young adult, pictures of my hometown, friends and family member from the period. So that'll be a really neat show for people to come by and check out, especially old friends and family who might get a glimpse of themselves on the big screen here, on the big tube. So we have a little while to go on the show here, about 40 minutes left. Let me see if I can find something that will fit that time slot, and we can check it out together. Something from old radio, right? Maybe perhaps something. How about something from my father? That's 47 minutes. Oh, that's how long is this? 46 minutes. Half an hour. So here's an unknown episode from 1975. This is one of my father's shows. So I'll put this on and listen to it. This is in on my YouTube channel, in the playlists, or excuse me, just in the videos. So it's pretty easy to find. Let's get up to where the video starts. And let's check this out. So yeah, this was a lot of fun when I would go hang out with him at the college, at the radio station. It was really cool. It smelled so technical, all that electricity in the air as well. The smell of magnetic tape, resistors and diodes and capacitors all humming. It's great stuff. Totally great stuff. It's totally cool.
Bessie Smith, Al Jolson, and of course, a little of old-time radio, all for your listening enjoyment on KPCS 89.3 FM in Pasadena.
Some of the stuff has been edited out, I believe.
Starting off tonight's big band show is a smash from 1941, the Andrews Sisters with Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy.
So I'm playing this from my YouTube channel, so it might get a little glitchy if the service gets a little spotty, so I apologize for that.
trumpet man from out Chicago way. He had a boogie style that no one else could play. He was a top man at his craft. But then his number came up and he was gone with the draft. He's in the army now, a blowing reveille. He's the boogie woogie bugle boy of Company B. They made him blow a bugle for his Uncle Sam. It really brought him down because he couldn't jam. The captain seemed to understand.
Yeah, that's some good stuff there, the Andrews Sisters. I grew up listening to a lot of the Andrews Sisters. I remember watching those old black and white movies with like the stage, what was that, the canteen, the stage, what was that, the place where the USO show was going on. That was some great movies where the Andrews Sisters would just pop up on stage doing the role. And in fact, in the movie 1941, Steven Spielberg did a scene where he had Andrews Sisters type performers doing some music. That was great stuff. I love that movie 1941. It really, it's a great reach back to that period. And he does it in such a humorous way. It's just such a fun movie. And it's long, too. I mean, for a comedy movie, it's out of control long. Like something like over 2 hours, 2.5 hours long. It's enormous. Now I'm going to have to watch that movie. It's just really, really awesome stuff. Well, this whole song is on here, which means it made it through muster on the YouTube copyright checks and stuff. So hopefully we won't lose sound during the playing of this. A lot of times it would say, you can't play this, so I would go back and edit the song out. And I did that with a lot of shows. In fact, this one may have some edited out material. But they let us get away with playing Andrews Sisters here. It's pretty cool. I dig that. You can find this show on my channel. Just go to the videos, start poking around. Are they going to let us play this? That's Bessie Smith, I believe. She had a real, I'm telling you, voice. Not like Billie Holiday, who was just strictly blues. Come on in here. Alexander's Ragtime Band. Yeah, I'm really surprised that we get to listen to this whole one here. I'm talking over it just in case there's an issue with YouTube coming along later and saying, hey man, you're not supposed to play that. But it's right there. It's unlocated from my channel. What do you mean I can't play it? It's right there. Come all along, let me take you by the hand. Yeah, this stuff was always playing in my house through the 70s and 80s. If my father had a turntable, he'd pull out that stack of records, and we'd be listening to Billie Holiday, Bessie Smith, Bing Crosby, Al Jolson, all day long. Just some great stuff. Well, I haven't been booted off of YouTube yet, so this must be okay to play. I believe I recorded this video with an early 2000s Sharp camcorder. Yeah. The video that you see me on is a 2010s camcorder. There's a slight difference in video quality there. Hey, good morning, Joey. How are you doing there, buddy? Can you hear everything okay? Come on along, let me take you by the hand, up to the We're listening to one of my father's shows from the radio. So at some point you're going to hear him come on and you'll listen to his voice. And I guess there'll be a slight resemblance between our voices. Here we go.
Bessie Smith, The Lady of the Blues from 1927, Alexander's Ragtime Band. Before that, the legendary Al Jolson with You Made Me Love You. And we started off with the Andrews Sisters, Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy.
Take half a minute for
Boogie
safety.
Woogie Bugle Boy.
If your car overheats when you're in heavy traffic, professional truck drivers suggest you step up the idling speed of the engine. Doubling the idling speed gives you 4 times as much airflow through your radiator.
This is from 1975.
Half a minute for safety.
Every once in a while you
It
hear something
can
that
help you avoid
talks about
dangerous
the
stalls in
bicentennial
traffic.
year.
Back again on Nostalgia Radio KPCS with Bunny Berrigan from 1937, I Can't Get Started.
This is old-time radio Wednesdays. We're listening to one of my father's shows with a lot of stuff cut out because of copyright. I don't know we're going to listen to the whole song. Nice. Another song that I grew up listening to all the time.
Lazy moon, come out soon. Make my poor heart be warmer. Light the way, bright as day, for my sweet little charmer.
This is Oliver Hardy from
Now
Oliver Hardy.
she's to meet me in the lane tonight. If the sky is bright and clear, oh moon, don't keep me waiting here tonight. Watching and awaiting, heart a palpitating, longing for my little lady love. Lazy moon, why don't you show your face upon the hill? Lazy moon, come out soon. You can make me happy if you will. Now when my lady sees your face a-peeping, then I know a promise she'll be keeping. Tell me what's the matter, are you sleeping? Lazy moon, lazy moon, lazy moon, why don't you show your face above the hill? Lazy moon, come out soon, you can make me happy if you will. Now when my lady sees your face a-peeping, then I know the promise she'll be keeping. Tell me what's the matter, are you sleeping? Lazy moon.
Frank Sinatra, Mean to Me. Before that, we heard Oliver Hardy from the motion picture Pardon Us. That was Lazy Moon. And we started off with Bunny Berrigan, I Can't Get Started. Stay tuned for Old Time Radio after this.
Youth is a feeling, not an age. Proof, Franklin D. Roosevelt.
These shows from my father.
To win the war, and we are going to win the peace that follows.
To be young is to be young is to youth is an outlook, not a stage.
All through the
Young is to face life, not to feel
early to late 70s, he was on the radio, a few different stations over Southern California. Indio, I think, was the last place that he worked. He got kicked off the air because of a James Taylor song, Steamroller.
Like Franklin D.
A lot of
Roosevelt, you
F-bombs in
can
that
have a
song,
productive,
the live
satisfying
version.
life, whatever your age. The American Chiropractic Association recommends you keep physically fit,
middle of the
keep
night.
active, and keep
He's
healthy
in taking
with
a leak, and
periodic spinal
the
examination.
song is on Steamroller, and he starts dropping F-bombs. And as soon as the song goes over, you got to call. You're fired.
And now, without further ado, Old Time Radio on KPCS.
Is anybody?
There's Molly, folks. That means your friends, the Goldbergs, are here.
Time now for Young Winter Brown, brought to you today by the makers of Aero Wax.
In Michael Forsythe's hotel room, Ellen Brown has spoken words which Michael has hoped she would speak ever since he fell in love with her months ago, after Dr. Anthony Loring believed a lie about her and discarded her and was tricked into marriage by his wife, Millicent. For Ellen has just said to Michael,
Yeah, so the service is a little spotty on this.
Parade Tomorrow, the story of love and
I'll have to
courage,
plug
written
it
by
in for
Ruth
tomorrow's
Adams
show.
Knight and brought to you by Ivory Snow.
And now for the dramatic story of John's other wife. Elizabeth, the young wife of handsome 35-year-old John Perry, is going to have a baby. Has been told by Dr. Ferguson that she must not shoulder any worries. But the worries have come thick and fast. 100 employees fired from the Perry department store at the instigation of John's partner, Ridgway Turl, and the beautiful foreign decorator, Marina Marinoff, rioted, led by a man named Timmons, and stoned John, and now John lies ill with an ugly gash in his head. Elizabeth it was who put down the riot. Elizabeth it was who rehired the employees in John's name and persuaded the now repentant Ridge to clear John of any blame. But John believes that the clever and unscrupulous Marina saved him, and he quarrels with Elizabeth on this account and suffers a relapse. Elizabeth, exhausted and frightened, calls the doctor. 15 minutes later, as the clock strikes 9, Dr. Ferguson arrives.
Yeah, back in the old days, you couldn't get away with putting a lot of this on the radio without permission. You could do songs and stuff, but you couldn't get away with broadcasting entire shows unless you had some kind of deal worked out. So thankfully, I can do this on YouTube, and other people have shared stuff. And it can make it possible for me to do these shows. Old time radio show. And to share with you my father's shows from the days. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy with the show.
And now,
Dick Tracy. Ooh. So he had to settle for just
this is Dick Tracy.
sharing the
case of the
intros.
broken window. Stand by for action. Let's go, man.
Great stuff. Great stuff.
Yes, it's Dick Tracy, protector of law and order.
The solid silver with beauty that lives forever is International Sterling. From Hollywood, International Silver Company, creators of International Sterling, presents The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet, starring America's favorite young couple, Ozzie Nelson and Harriet Hilliard.
The makers of Wrigley's Spearmint Chewing Gum invite you to enjoy Life with Luigi, a comedy show created by Cy Howard, directed by Mac Benoff, and starring that celebrated actor, Mr. J. Carroll Nash, with Alan Reed as Pasquale.
The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, starring Basil Rathbone and Nigel Bruce.
The Shadow of Fu Manchu. Based on the stories by Sax Roma.
Believe it or not. Yes, believe it or not, pages from the sketchbook of Robert L. Ripley. And here speaking for Bob Ripley is the Dean of Newsreel Commentators, Gregory Abbott. Thanks, Bill Griffiths, and welcome everyone to Bob Ripley's Radio Auditorium, a collection of amazing facts discovered by Bob Ripley in his never-ending search for the truth which is always more unbelievable than fiction.
Hello, dear friends. Hello, friends. Hello, Jack. Here's Whispering Jack Smith and his Whispering Strings once more, bringing you his intimate melodies sung as only he can sing them. This electrically transcribed program by the one and only Whispering Baritone is brought to you by Ironized Yeast, the new yeast, vitamin B, and iron tablets through which people everywhere who are thin and run down because they need these vital elements are gaining new naturally attractive pounds, new energy, new health. Oopsie.
Howdy, folks. You'll be mighty glad to hear, I reckon, that the makers of Grape Nuts Flakes, that's America's most famous cereal in flake form, are going to bring you America's most famous cowboy. Hard-riding, hard-hitting, hard-to-beat, everybody's favorite, Buck Jones.
Yeah, Buck Jones. Good old Buck Jones. Well, I'm alone again. The missus is, she's off. It really is.
Again, the romance of Helen Trent.
Bold Venture. Adventure, intrigue, mystery, romance, starring Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall.
Yeah, great show. Totally
together
great
in the
show.
sultry setting of
Totally a great show.
mysterious islands of the Caribbean. Bold Venture.
All right, people. Well, here I am. I'm back. Baby. That's just a little taste to see what it tastes like. Some of my father's old radio shows. Really big shoe. Yeah. So if you get a chance, go look through all of my videos, because there's like a million videos. I'll have to round these up, put them onto a playlist. Or maybe I'll just add them to the old time radio show list, because they're old time radio shows. They're from the 70s, but they're old time radio. And my father was a big, huge fan of old time radio. So, of course, I grew up listening to everything. Little Orphan Annie, The Shadow, Being an Owl. Bing Crosby had a great show where he and Al Jolson from the Jazz Singer, right? They were always on together singing and doing comedy and stuff. Al Jolson was huge on the radio. just huge. He had a great voice, just fantastic. But I thought my father was great on the radio. He had a great voice, and he never really had a chance to do more on the radio. I think that had he been that age, like now with YouTube and stuff, I think he really would have gotten into creating a lot of kooky, crazy stuff. Because when he went to the college and the university, he created a lot of crazy stuff, not just audio stuff, but a lot of videos. And I've got some videos back here that at some point we're going to be getting into doing on Flashback Fridays, where I'll show us a little video and talk about it, or a little piece of this and that, just see what it tastes like, just a little bit of taste. So yeah, tomorrow is Thursday, so we're going to be doing Throwback Thursdays, and we're going to listen to an entire Grateful Dead show from 1995. Save one song. There's one song on there that I couldn't get, but I compiled everything together on a video that's almost 3 hours long. It's going to take up almost the whole show to listen to this, but because there's a lot of stuff in between, tuning and space and drums and a lot of weird stuff, we'll have time to talk with the music in the background. So don't fret. We'll still have time to hang out and do our coffee talk, because we like to talk about stuff, but I'm real excited about the new format. And while I do enjoy going out and doing the Monday night open mic live whole event, it really hasn't been fruitful. It really hasn't panned out. A few days ago, Monday night, I spent 8 hours from the time I got my shit together, got into the van, and then by the time I got home and got everything set up for Tuesday morning, it was like 8 hours, and I got 2.5 hours video out of that, and it just wasn't fun, right? And the whole reason of doing this and playing with all of this stuff is because it's fun. And when it becomes unfun, I don't really want to do it anymore. So I may simplify the open mic stuff again like it was, only upgrade it, use an iPhone, use an external microphone, try to get the best out of the open mic that I can with just a phone, with just one camera. I think I can do that, and then if I can get somebody else with a camera to record video and then share that video with me, I've got more camera angles. I can create some videos along with the live content. So, there you go. That's that. But I really want to focus on this time of the day, Monday through Friday. Every morning I can present something different. We can watch some movies on Monday, watch some TV stuff on Tuesdays, do some old-time radio stuff on Wednesdays, do some kind of flashback on Fridays, and some kind of throwback, listen to stuff, watch stuff that meant a lot to me when I was, a kid, aside from all these other things, something that really is personal to me. And then, of course, Flashback Fridays will strictly be homegrown family videos and photographs and stories from my youth, right? So, and at that point, hopefully will have the ability to take phone calls, and I will put an actual phone here, an old school phone with a curly Q cable on it, and talk to people and have that phone mic'd so that you can hear my conversation. And if that isn't good enough, I will be doing live video chats here on the show at any given time. I may freeze a movie or a video or some kind of audio track and put the show on hold if I get a phone call or a video chat from somebody, right? And I'm not talking a phone call on this thing. I'm talking a phone call on an actual old school telephone, all right? And I'll have to dig one out at some point and throw it down here so you can see what it looks like. And then I'll get it wired up, and I'll put a microphone on it, and I can take phone calls. And then what I can do is I can superimpose a photo or a likeness or a representation of my caller, you know. Put a beer can there, and that'll be for me. Yeah, the beer can. But the video chat will be a really cool thing, because just like my the videos that I share with you from my channel here in the morning, I'll be able to share that video chat with you right up on the screen. It'll look just like this, except we'll have more going on. I'll be able to go back and forth between me and the caller, and then both of us, and listen to everything. It'll be freaking fantastic, man. Hey. And then the only thing that I'm going to have to consider is I'll probably have to mic this guy here and add some kind of camera to it, so that I'm doing a boom, bing, bang, boom thing, you know, right? It's going to be great. It's going to be great. So I'll look forward to live tests of video chatting on the show. And that will help. Once that is worked out, it'll help do a Friday night live show. Even if I can't get someone in the studio, I can get them on video, right? And that should work out beautifully. Their sound coming through here, piped into there, and then brought to you. It should all work out perfectly. And I really need to concentrate on projects here in the studio at home. I enjoy going out, meeting people, doing these live things, having that kind of fun. But when it starts to become more of a drag on me physically, then I got to rethink the situation. And methinks that Monday night is probably on hold, at least until I get the technical end of it worked out. My mobile live unit will probably come back in here, and I will use it for my studio setup here rather than this table. So it'll kind of give me more room to move around. And I can just take that mobile live unit, spin it around, put it in the green room there, and get a friend to work the camera mixer. And then I can do my Friday night live show and live shows here in the studio, and have myself and somebody to be interviewed and someone working the camera, right? Easy peasy. That's going to be a lot of fun too. I like how this old camera looks, the pixelation, the kind of grainy, you know, the grainy feel to it. The picture isn't, you know, it isn't crisp and clear. And I'm not into, you know, like The Hobbit, right? That was filmed entirely in like super extreme HD or high definition or something. And I mean, you could literally count the pores on people's faces. It was so too much. It was because in real life, you don't see stuff like that. And then when they just like bring it to you ultra clear, it's like, no way, man. No way. You know, it looked almost animated. It was so surreal. Well, that kills it for the coffee. Yeah. So this weekend I'll be running live tests of audio. Unless I get somebody lined up for a Friday show, which, you know, after meeting a lot of people lately, it's possible that I could get set up for some live Friday night shows, which could snowball more guests and more and more. And if I keep going out to some of these open mics, I can get people to come over here and hang out, you know, give them my hobby card, you know, because I don't introduce myself as a businessman, as a company. I'm a hobbyist. I am an amateur videographer. I have no claim to fame. I like to create videos that are fun to create and fun to watch. That's it, you know. So here's my hobby card. If you want to play and pretend, you know, like when we were kids, come over and hang out, because that's what I do. I hang out in here with all of my cool old stuff from the past, and put on my cool old T-shirts like the Judas Priest British Steel, and I flashback. I time travel. You know, reverse Van Winkle here. Every day I wake up 40 years ago, and it's funner than shit. I'm telling you. Every day I try to live in the past and bring a piece of the past to the rest of the world. Even if it's just by the way I look, the way I dress, the way I talk, the things that I surround myself with, the car that I drive, my van. I got a few compliments on my van the other night, and that really made me feel good because I love that van. I've wanted that van since I was a teenager, right? Since my grandmother had van conversions, and we would drive them all over. So yeah, it's really cool. And then right now I've got it just loaded full of musical instruments and drums and video stuff, and I don't like that. You know, I want my van to be my van, right? And what I might do is, if I'm going to do some live stuff just in my van, then I may just set up my little computer tray on the dashboard and a video camera, and just do some stuff like that, right? Get into doing more with the phone, because phones are great, especially those iPhones. Get some great video off of those iPhones and some great sound. My daughter captured every one of her concerts on her little iPhone. She's got a new one now that she's done a few concerts on. But all of the videos I create from her video was done entirely on her iPhone. So that's cool. You know, I use this little Android thing that's out of date and old and got no more memory, and it's just, you know, and it's okay. It's okay. It does okay for the live stuff, but I want something with some more meat on it, right? Maybe some effects, so I can create a video right there and post it. So yeah, that's totally cool, totally in the works. I finished my antibiotics again, so I'm good there. I stopped taking my pain pills. I took one yesterday because my whole left side was killing me from Monday night. Yesterday I was just dying. But I feel a little bit better. I really, you know, I'm going to have to cut down on my hours going out and doing these things. I have to save my strength for the concerts and stuff my daughter takes me to, or I have to take my daughter to. Let's see. Charlie is coming out. My daughter's best friend Charlie is coming out again the day before graduation, hanging out for graduation on a graduation party, and then hanging out for the weekend before he goes home. So that's going to be awesome. And my daughter's got a lot of her friends coming over to not to our house. We're doing it at a vacation rental because of our dogs and the smallness of our house. It's just not feasible. I mean, it's hard for me to shoehorn a couple of people in here to do a video, let alone, you know, a couple of dozen people most for a party. So yeah, we try to do our family gathering things over at the Airbnbs, and that just works out better way. You know, total lava lamp cam. Yeah. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's totally going to be a lot of fun. I'm hoping to do some recording from my daughter's graduation and graduation party. I may even go live from the graduation. You can find in the videos a little short video of my daughter's high school graduation, and it's just more memories to add to the memory board there. You know, of course, all of these memories here are from the 70s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. Nothing there past. It's all from the 80s, 70s, and 60s right there. So yeah, I'm hoping that between myself and a couple of the guests at daughter's graduation, we can play a little music. I mean, I don't want to steal the show or take the spotlight from my daughter because it's her day. But I might play a couple of her favorite songs, you know, and mainly I'm probably going to be helping my wife with the food. We're doing chicken enchiladas with a green a green sauce. It's called suizas. It's not enchiladas. It's enchiladas suizas. It's a different kind of enchilada. So we had them the other night, and they were just fantastic. So when we asked my daughter, so what do you want to eat? She said those, because my friends like the green and the chicken and stuff. So there you go. So we're going to do those. So we're going to roast a couple of whole chickens all day, and then take those and use the meat from those and create a really great sauce, and spend a day in the kitchen making some great food for the day after my daughter's graduation. And there'll be a few people from out of town, and my daughter's friends, and some family friends and stuff here in town. So it'll be cool. It'll be totally cool. But tomorrow, remember to come back, because we've got the Grateful Dead, an entire Grateful Dead show. One that I actually attended. I'm in the audience at this show. My friends are in the audience at this show. They've got fire hydrants in, because it's so hot. It's Las Vegas. They got fire hydrants in the show aimed at the people in these little what they call the slither pits, and they were just like dugouts. They were just like little dark hallways where the players would go and hide out when they weren't playing. I don't recall what the stadium was, but there were a lot of weird stuff going on in them wet slither pits. So tune in tomorrow. We'll talk more about the show while we're listening to the show. And that'll be a lot of fun. And then at some point tonight or tomorrow night, I'm going to be putting together Friday's show, and that'll be a flashback show where I'm going to grab some photographs of my hometown, Lake Elsinore, Elsinore, California, Elsinore Brothers Studios, and some photos of the town and me and my family and friends from that period. So that'll be a total blast. And I'll just throw up some photos to talk about. And I'll just pick some out at random, some that evoke some kind of story or memory. I'm not going to think about anything too much or plan anything. I just kind of like things to happen. What's our word? Organic. I like things to be organic on the show. I like things to just kind of flow and happen. And let's just let it happen, Don't like to hold on to like one thing, let it go, let it flow. All right, so that's what we're going to do here. I can't drink any more coffee because I am already going, but I am going to get out of here and get something rolling, because I gotta be moving along, moseying along. I want to keep the show at 3 hours. So whoever's there, good day. Thanks for stopping by. At some point, we're going to be doing some video chats, probably on Fridays. And then Friday evenings, we'll probably do some more Friday Night Lives, and I'll do in-studio guests, and I'll be doing video chats and telephone call guests. Bye. Take it easy. Have a good night's sleep. It'll be a total blast. So let me get the morning show closing sequence here and get this loaded, and then we'll end our show as the way we will end our morning show. Just about every day from here on out. So thanks for coming by, people. Love you all. Have a good day, and I will talk to you tomorrow.